position to do so.
Yeah.
They'll have selection priority, I believe, in
Liquid
Yeah.
this morning.
Many games as well.
These guys played each other in the winners bracket, correct? So they know quite a bit about each other.
You know,
Liquid played against IG in the winner's
Yeah,
bracket.
Liquid was Invictus 1-2.
So they haven't played against each other.
That's right.
Well, there we go.
First time for everything.
Same as the last series, and that last series was amazing. So
Now, for any of you who don't know, haven't seen a TI before, going into the grand finals in other double elimination brackets, the losing team has to win 2 times. That's not the case here at TI. It's just a single best of 5 to decide it all. But as PPD brought up, there is the advantage, the pick advantage given in games 1, 3, and 5 to the team coming from winners. That will be NEWBEE. It'll be interesting to see how they try to exploit that advantage going into this series.
yeah, I guess like for people who don't know what pick advantage means, it means they'll have the opportunity to choose either first pick, second pick, Radiant, or Dire, whatever they prefer in any of those games, and they'll have to draft and strategize around that.
What would you prefer?
It's tough. Team Liquid's been really great at abusing last pick, which is the team that has second pick. I don't think the sides, Radiant and Dire, I think are
It's been very even, so I actually think that most teams have prioritized choosing either first pick or second pick, depending on if they really want to first pick a hero or being able to take this last pick.
Do you think Liquid cares so much about having Kato, Wisp, or Shaker that they would prioritize first pick?
I think Liquid would like first pick just so they can ban whatever they want and the opponents feel that they have to ban something.
They've also been really comfortable last picking, even with the other team having last pick. They'll pick Broodmother, they'll pick Alchemist. They're not really afraid of... I guess they've been banning and drafting smart around that pick, even like with the other team having that last pick. They're not afraid of it.
It's kind of crazy to see how versatile the drafting has looked. There were absolutely some weak drafts out of Kuroki throughout the lower bracket run, but I just want to repeat out loud who they've gone through. 2-1 against Secret, 2-0 against Empire, 2-1 against Virtus Pro, 2-0 against LGD, and now 2-1 against LFY in order to go up against NEWBEE. Only DC was the other team able to eliminate a Chinese team. I mean, Team Liquid has really had a lot of games under their belt on the main stage.
Impressive.
Those 2-1s were so close.
So close.
So close. Like, I'm the amount of, I've continued to like doubt Liquid in all these series. I'm like, okay, game 3, all right, looks like Liquid's getting eliminated, and then out of nowhere, they're just winning.
Yeah, let's not forget the 103-minute game 1 they played against Virtus Pro.
Yeah, I thought Virtus Pro had that series as well.
Yeah, for sure, Dan. I think this the Liquid run is actually a bit similar to the DC run last year. I mean, although Liquid were much more favored to do very well in this year than DC was.
Much bigger underdogs.
Yeah, much bigger underdogs, but the run from the lower bracket, it's been looking kind of the same.
So you're saying that Liquid is going to lose?
You know, it's different, right? Because they're expected to do well, so it's still different.
Is NEWBEE on Wings level?
I don't think that... I personally don't feel like NEWBEE is at a Wings level. Like, Wings last year felt like they were...
Untouchable.
Untouchable. It's like stronger than NEWBEE this year. And I do feel like Liquid really has a lot of momentum going into this game.
I think comparing NEWBEE to Wings is like... Wings could play like anything, right? They could pick anything and they could play good with it. I think NEWBEE is just a very stable team. They really know how to team fight. So even though they are behind in the early game, they can team fight their way back. But usually they like don't even lose the early game. They're super good at getting the right lanes they need, seeing like what items they need to take fights. So I think that I
think that's important. We've seen Liquid really do well in the late game with the like split push meta, but their early game has been really, really good for me. If NEWBEE can come out with a good early game and not get totally run over in their lanes, I think they're in a really great position to take the series.
What are the heroes that they need to do that?
That's that's
like,
their job, not mine.
But I think they will just need to pick like strong early laning heroes and not like morphling. We could see the morphling this like last game. He's like one of the weakest heroes during the laning phase, and they exploited it like straight away.
We haven't seen a lot of morphling. We've seen it with Lich and sometimes with Wisp
and
as
mid,
well.
right?
Yes, exactly. And that's when the hero gets all the help that it needs to have a decent early game. That was the last game where they took the 2-minute tower. Morphling was just watching watching Liquid just ruin his lane. There's nothing you can do about it.
Bloodseeker is one of the heroes that's been favored by NEWBEE a lot recently, and it's also a strong laner, very strong. He can kind of set you up for that early game. You have a few heroes who fight on different lanes, and then you just use this Bloodseeker to win lanes. I think that's something that NEWBEE might want to do.
Now, before we get into this match, if any of you have not yet got the chance to see and experience the amazing things that Team Liquid have done, let's look at their run to get here to the finals.
Earning one of 6 direct invites to the International 2017, Team Liquid entered this year's tournament with high promise.
KuroKy holds back the Sven. Jump forward from GH. Definitely blast flies through. No buyback on the Sven. As the rest of Liquid turn towards the Ancient. GG is called. It's finally over as Liquid close it up.
Taking 2-0 victories off of IG Vitality, Fnatic, Infamous, Team Empire and Team Secret, while splitting 1-1 series with EG, LGD and TNC to finish a Group A best record of 13-3.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live here from the floor of Key Arena.
On the main stage, however, they stumbled to a 1-2 loss at the hands of Invictus Gaming in the upper bracket quarterfinals.
The Quills are stacking up, but BO5 continues to rampage through Liquid. IG dominant to open up TI. Game 3 awaits. The crush is timely. Kuro's in trouble, being kited. XXS puts a dagger through the heart of Liquid. Invictus Gaming absolutely slaughtering Liquid, and top 6 is theirs.
Dropping them into the lower bracket and the prospects of a do-or-die run through a string of elimination series. The first must-win test would come against Team Secret, who quickly secured a 1-0 edge and looked likely to win a second game as they leapt to an early advantage.
6-0. Puppey has been in every single kill. Liquid 1 racks away from being mega'd at 27 minutes.
But Liquid had other plans. After forcing a turnaround in Game 2, they rode an unkillable Troll Warlord and Deadly Necrophos to sure victory in Game 3, sending Secret packing.
Kuro versus Puppey. Game 3. Puppey
Charge, go for the steal. Who's going to get the Aegis?
The Roche, but Miracle snatches the Aegis away.
GG.
Done it.
Next up would come Team Empire, riding high off their upset 2-0 elimination of NA favorites and TI5 champions EG. Empire's dreams of a repeat upset were crushed, however, as Liquid swept the series 2-0 to guarantee a top 6 finish and eliminate a second team from the tournament. Another CIS team and direct invite, Virtus Pro awaited in the next round, looking to re-establish themselves after a 0-2 loss to LFY in the upper bracket. What would follow would be one of the most intense matchups of the tournament, as each team fought without pause for 103 minutes, with Liquid pulling out eventual victory in the longest game of the main event.
Will fly through and kills off the next assassin. Our first kill in 20 minutes. If Bloodseeker dies right now, it could be they thought they had it. And yeah, 103 minutes. It has been a marathon.
Game 3 would strike a similar tone as the first, as each team used amazing team fight coordination and execution to push each other to the brink. Ultimately, Liquid would prevail, eliminating Virtus Pro and securing their place in the top 4. There, Liquid would face an LGD team that had easily eliminated a strong IG squad earlier in the same day, with the winner assured a top 3 finish. Despite some clutch LGD plays, Liquid's Morphling draft in Game 1 and Huskar Broodmother duo in Game 2 proved too much to overcome, and Liquid would eliminate LGD and earn the right to face LFY in the lower bracket finals.
But now Somnus left to the Wolves. Liquid, no mind games now. Straight down the middle lane. Miracle starting to heat up. He's heating up. Give him another. He wants more. Bulldozing his way through 11. Liquid surge in. They want this tower. GG! Liquid have done it!
Facing off in their first set against LFY in the entire tournament, Liquid would continue their amazing lower bracket run.
Melee is still up for Liquid. This might actually be a win for them. Game 2, a complete stop by Liquid.
Mind control, this is his buyback. This is his diving, no! BKB cheese, he's gonna get the last round.
The base is crumbling. LFY, death
by 1,000 cuts.
Going for the tier 4 mind control, popping that BKB. He's down.
He's still fighting this. Miracle is fighting this. GG!
And secure a berth in a grand finals where NEWBEE away.
If the length of that video is any indication, Team Liquid played a lot of games to get here. It's one of the longest road to the final that is even physically possible here at TI. But now they are here in the grand finals. They'll be going up against NEWBEE, and game 1 is going to begin right now. The grand finals of the International 7 begins with NEWBEE versus Team Liquid.
NEWBEE versus Team Liquid. Grand Finals, Game 1.
Before we get too far into the draft, I wanted to make a note on that LFI Liquid game at the very end there. Notice how Liquid actually went for kills on heroes instead of going for the throne. None of those heroes had buyback. We saw a couple teams, we saw Virtus.pro make that mistake in their series versus Liquid, which cost them their road here at the International. And I imagine we're going to have I bet we'll have a couple mega creep defenses going on in this series.
Stalker and Earth Spirit banned by Team Liquid. Very popular heroes for NEWBEE. Night Stalker also the second most picked and banned hero at the entire tournament.
Team Liquid passing up on the Ancient Apparition ban, which they've been doing pretty much exclusively for the last couple series.
Yeah.
That's going to...
I guess it's because of the series that NEWBEE played against LFY, where they actually picked Earth Spirit in the first all of the games. So
they did really well. But now, if NEWBEE does go for that Ancient Apparition, that is going to prevent Liquid, for the most part, from going into that Alchemist pick, going into that Oracle pick as well. Caudle as well, to some extent. I agree.
They're giving a lot of respect to Kaka.
Yeah, they're leaving the Caudle out there, even with Night Stalker banned. First pick, Furion. He finally made it. First pick. Best hero of the tournament, I think.
Bulldogs back.
Oh my gosh, we're going to have the split push, Ratty tournament finals. These EU teams are the worst.
Well, some from EU.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure USA out there in the crowd is taking claim of Team Liquid right about now. I saw a couple USA flags and I heard a couple chants.
Yeah, Team Liquid's got a long heritage.
It's just kind of the American way, right? We just take the teams. There's Navi with USA chants all over.
Matumbaman is Finnish. Miracle from Jordan. Mind Control from Bulgaria.
That's about as American as it gets.
Lebanon, Hiroki, Germany. International lineup.
It's cool, man. Teams, we see that so much more nowadays. Players from all over the world wanting to win, working with people in different countries, different cultures. Don't forget the Korean coach. Yes, Korean coach. They just want to win.
That's the Bloodseeker right there.
We saw Bloodseeker paired with Earth Spirit every single game that NEWBEE played in the winners bracket finals versus LFY. And here they're choosing it right after Nyx Assassin.
Curious if Liquid will actually put another hero together with the Prophet against the Bloodseeker to pressure him, or if they would actually even go aggro try against it and put the Prophet safe lane.
That's the thing, though. I think NEWBEE will be a little bit smarter about securing Bloodseeker a better lane. I know they can play it. Mugi can play it in either safe lane or off lane, and then SCCC could also play it in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think the reason we've seen before, now we see that the Earth Spirit is banned, but they like this Earth Spirit with Bloodseeker, of course, because you deal a lot of damage to a lot of heroes.
Would you have thought in the grand finals teams would just be like, GH, you take Caudle? Try it.
Turn to battle.
Well, given that he's 9-1 on Earthshaker, no, excuse me, 10-1 now.
Yeah.
They actually picked the Nyx as well, like maybe to make sure that they don't go Caudle in the second pick here on Liquid, because Nyx is one of the best heroes against Caudle, to find him when he's farming in the jungle, and with the Carapace to, I don't know,
to grab the blinding or the illuminates.
Yeah, to catch him and damage him, of course, as well.
Also good against Furion. The Nyx finding him throughout the game and kind of keeping Furion's split push in check. Going to the Slardar. When have we seen Team Liquid? I know we've seen them play it.
They played it before last time. They played it with Darkseer and Wyvern, I think.
Okay.
But that didn't go so well. They lost that one game against...
Yeah, I don't love that hero for Mind Control.
Yeah, virtually every game that Team Liquid has done the Slardar Darkseer combo, it's been a very difficult game, even the times that they have won.
GH has been playing Slara quite good though. at least. It's kind of as a shaker in a way, which he's been playing a lot of as well.
Do you think we'll also see the Broodmother ban here in the second phase? LFY banned Huskar and Broodmother in all 3 of the games in the second phase.
Could be possible.
What do you think about Drow for Liquid?
It's
Good go for some.
You like Drow versus Bloodseeker?
I mean, if there's no darks here, I think if they have a lot of heavy physical damage and the Bloodseeker just can't fight you because they have too much damage, and I also feel like they could pressure the lane very heavily with this Prophet with Drow Aura, getting some backup maybe from the Slaughter in the off lane.
They could. I think it's risky. You know, it's not really where Liquid has been this tournament, so you know, it'd definitely be a bold pick. I also think Bloodseeker, like, once it gets past us, there's like a timing on the Drow lineup where the Bloodseeker, he starts getting his SNY, his BKB, his Radiance, and then I think it's impossible for a Drow lineup to deal with him. Also, Lich still in the pool. We saw that hero be incredibly effective against Drow strategies. Lich might be a good pick for NEWBEE here. Not super great against Furion, but that Ice Armor, you can't underestimate that up against this Slardar.
You know, I want to ask a little bit about the bans that we're seeing out of NEWBEE, or excuse me, the bans that we're seeing out of Team Liquid, because NEWBEE's bans look very much so. Team Liquid plays all 3 of those heroes a lot and have won a lot of drafts with just strong play from those. But we have Tidehunter banned right away from Team Liquid.
I think it's because NEWBEE has been playing a lot around their team fight, and Tide is one of the best heroes to team fight. As well as maybe they want to pick some like melee safe lane hero on Liquid that's Tide like first.
He's really good up against these first 2 heroes.
Yeah.
So Kraken Shell will just remove amplified damage.
That is true as well.
And he usually builds mech. Yeah, doesn't really care about Prophet spike hits that much.
Exactly. Slardar is going to die in Ravage like, what, 9 out of 10 times. That'd be cool to see some Tidehunters. Some big, I want to see some Tidehunters, some Enigmas, some big team fight.
Could it be a Lycan pick for Liquid, and that is why they ban both Axe and Tide?
It's not out of it. It is into a Bloodseeker though as well. So
yeah, Bloodseeker's been pretty good against Lycan.
That is true. That's not the best pick.
5 seconds remaining.
Broodmother ignored.
Yeah, maybe that's why we're seeing this Axe and side bans, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great point.
4th pick Brood.
Yeah, strong heroes to go up against. The little spiderlings.
NEWBEE knows what's coming though. That was an intentional decision of theirs to ban Venomancer instead of Broodmother. They'll have a plan for it.
And at the same time, for Liquid, banning these Axe might have been a way for them to try to get the Venomancer to trick NEWBEE into thinking that it's a Brood pick, to ban the Brood instead, and being able to get the Venomancer themselves for Liquid. It's a lot of mind in the games.
Crystal Maiden's getting so much attention. Do you think she's a fast enough hero to keep up with Liquid's playstyle?
I think she allows Bloodseeker to play really fast, and also Nyx. And I think it should be okay if they pair it up with something else that benefits. I really like the Nova against this.
NEWBEE's turn to pick.
Could you define the term fast? Just, I feel like we're using that vocabulary a lot. I'm not sure if people understand.
In what sense? Okay, I guess in the sense that she comes online early, or
yeah, like what makes a hero fast?
Well, I think that depends on how you use it, or you know. But I think most of the time when you talk about a fast hero, you talk about like Slaughter is fast because he runs fast, but he's not necessarily a fast hero because he comes online only after he gets his Blink Dagger.
Sure.
And usually when you talk about fast heroes, it's a hero that doesn't really need any items to be effective early on, or doesn't need much time to become effective.
By the time Crystal Maiden's level 5, she has some abilities.
Yeah, but levels 1 through 4, and then she's kind of slow.
Yeah, can regenerate a whole lot of mana for her team. Makes very influential in ganks.
Here comes the Batroid as well for NEWBEE that LFY had against this Prophet.
An extremely fast Lifestealer pick for Team Liquid.
Yeah, the Slaughter Nyx. Yeah, we got the Slaughter Nyx combo. Lifestealer also a hero that lanes incredibly well against Batrider. Can actually solo that matchup with the Magic Stick.
Yeah, he doesn't care about Maiden or Nyx at all either.
It would be very hard to tank this Lifestealer.
We've seen this sort of shape to a Liquid lineup before, where they go for an insanely hard carry at the very last pick. An Alchemist last pick with just these heroes, not even having Lifestealer in main. Position 1.
It's possible. I feel like Miracle's going to be playing the Lifestealer. I think that they've kind of adjusted to this strategy where Miracle's always playing the 1, but Matumbaman being a little bit more versatile with his pick, playing lots of different styles of heroes.
They looks like that they want to pick this mid hero though with the Lich, or maybe they're going to put the Lich safe lane. I see some teams do it, but I don't really like it so much.
Isn't this the Lifestealer plus Lich? Isn't that what LFY did against Liquid just now?
Yes.
In game 1, up against the Bloodseeker.
Yep. The Lifestealer, even when he got ruptured, he just kind of stood his ground and If any spells came his way, he used Rage, and he just kind of sat there and said, come at me.
Yeah, and I know you also talked a little bit about, like, you like the matchup Prophet against Bat, or you think it's at least...
I think the laning phase is fine, but I think the later the game goes, Bat Rider gets really, really good in that matchup. Nature's Prophet just has no escape mechanism, so if the Bat Rider gets on top of him, he just kind of drops.
So as we're getting into these final picks, what is the composition for Team Liquid looking like as a whole team, and what's the composition of NEWBEE looking like?
A little low in the team fight here for Team Liquid, but they've got great pick-off with the Lifestealer Slaughter Bombs that are going to come out. Nature's Prophet can also TP and follow up on those ganks. They probably needs a second initiator, I think, depending on Slardar, especially as he is kind of that slow hero and doesn't come online until he gets a Blink Dagger. I'd like to see them get another form of initiation, so that way they can secure those kills to get him his Blink Dagger.
And what do you see as that last hero? Is there anything that you have in mind?
We still have, I mean, I don't think Miracle would play Puck. I don't think Matumbaman would either.
Might be something more carry heavy to fit with the Lich mid.
And what about NEWBEE as a team?
What about them, Sean?
Tell me kind of what are their strengths, their weaknesses?
Well, their strengths is that they haven't lost a series yet in this main event.
But a lot of pick-off with both Bat Rider and Nyx. Nyx can go around enemies and try to find people, and Bat Rider can also find kills on Prophet and Lich at least.
The CM aura is going to be incredibly helpful for their team, especially in the early game, running around, constantly being able to fight.
Queen of Pain, the final ban. And Roll Warlord, the final pick for Team Liquid, helped them edge that win out against Team Secret. They've enjoyed it with their push heavy.
They have some seriously heavy physical damage right now. Troll also one of those heroes that people like playing with the Nature's Prophet. He just gives you a lot more damage. Like when you have this Slaughter, you can run around even without the nakes now. And just, you crush one guy, and if Prophet is nearby, you just press Troll ult, and the guy's dead.
They've got 50 seconds here to make a pick. What is a, how do we feel about maybe Sven?
You think it's gonna be a mid Bloodseeker then?
Yeah, I mean, they can still, I don't know, I think they can get pretty flexible with their lanes. I think it's, you know, Liquid's going to be doing some sort of like dual lane setup with the roaming Slardar, so I imagine the whole lane phase is going to be a little free for both teams. NEWBEE's only really going to have to worry about that Furion porting in and helping out that Slardar secure kills. Any anti-physical damage heroes? There's still a Timbersaw who can get a lot of reactive armor. Sven with the Warcry. I mean, I'm thinking armor, right? Armor or something.
Sven is quite physical heavy himself, though.
He likes, Sven would be very clever.
Wow. Yeah. Lina. Well, of course, Lina. Almost certainly going to be going mid. Yep, SCCC loaded on. Very strong at hitting towers.
NEWBEE's early game is really fast.
Yeah. At least. Yeah, NEWBEE has a lot of heroes that can come online early with levels. Team Liquid, physical damage strong lineup. It's time to head down to the casters for our very first game of the Grand Finals.
The biggest series of the Dota 2 year is the place where immortals are crowned, and it is the International Grand Final. I am Toby1 here with and Liquid. We have our drafts for game one. What are your thoughts?
I like Liquid in this one, honestly. I think they got a lot of the heroes that they have been very successful with. The composition of their lineup looks very solid to me. Good laning, good fighting later on. Great ways of picking off on the map, great vision. Actually, something both teams have is a good way of finding vision. I think what the panel said is important. NEWBEE's lineup is fast at coming online, and I think they need to start taking the fights early and shut down these cores of Liquid, because 2 physical damage cores late game with Slardar, Corrosive Haze can be very difficult to deal with. And I don't know about NEWBEE's lineup scaling potential so much.
It does seem a little odd, like maybe if we're looking at the old Alina, maybe we'd be like, hey, this is actually been really powerful. I kind of want to touch a little bit on mind control. We have that Nature's Prophet back in. It was a huge star in the previous series. Now he's up against Bat Rider, up against Nyx Assassin. How is he meant to deal with this? Do you actually look to have mind control play a very similar role as he did in final?
It's definitely going to be a hard test for him, this one. I think it's harder than all of the games he had against LFY on Nature's Prophet, for sure. Some great counters in that regard. And I think we're going to expect less, at least I personally am going to expect less of a massive impact out of Mind Control's hero, just the way it works in this game. But he doesn't, that doesn't say too much, because in the last games he was completely outstanding. So if he even has less impact, it can still be very impactful. But it is certainly a very difficult Nature's Prophet game. And NEWBEE will want to try to, I think early on, try to get these skirmishes going. I think that's something their lineup is very good at, using this Nyx Assassin Batrider's fast heroes and then combining it with the Bloodright and just in general the passive of the Bloodseeker, that thirst to snowball fights, I think is what it's going to be all about.
Well, NEWBEE already looking to try and find their first snowball. It's a 4-man smoke maneuver into the dire jungle, looking for an opening. Matumbaman is the only one from Team Liquid there, while Liquid doing a little bit more of a similar thing. Mind Control and GH just trying to secure more of these bounty runes. So either side just trying to poke around, see if they can find an opening. They do not want to make a mistake. You do not want to be one game down in this best of 5 series.
I think that is something important to keep in mind as well for this, that it is a best of 5. Best of 5s have a tendency of getting very different from best of 3s if they go the stretch. Obviously, because if it's 3-0, then it's still takes 3 games. But these teams will be learning about each other as they play. They obviously are very prepared for this matchup, but there will be some new things emerging throughout this series that will take priority. We already saw the first step toward this series was giving Liquid that Nature's Prophet, and Liquid choosing to first pick it over the Coddle has already been their first adaptation to this matchup. And there's going to be more of that coming later on. So the first game, as you said, every game is massively important, but you need to look for
that
adaptation.
was being dewatered. He just tried to go for the denial. It won't happen, however. SC was able to get the first hit on that one, but it does reveal the fact that GH was prepping himself for a gank in mid, running this dual lane mid, Lich and Troll Warlock. That's a lot of harassment, but of course it goes the other way. We've almost gone back into group stage meta with Nyx Assassin harassing out the mid. Only difference is it's not an Intel core mid.
I think this is the worst mana burn I've ever seen on one. You mana burn a troll, he has 14 ints. This is like the dumbest hero in Dota. And, you know, it doesn't really have that high of an impact.
You're offending Ogre Magi by doing that. KP on bottom lane, a little bit of trouble. GH actually able to get that first crush off. The body blocking from the tree. Mind Control! You said if he had even a small amount the impact he had in that lower bracket series, it'd already be great, but that was all set up from the tree and block into the stun, into a second wave of tree and block. And KP, a hard lane for him on bottom.
They take full advantage of Batrider not being level 2. This body block is going to become impossible once he reaches that level 2 unless Firefly's on cooldown. And Liquid identifying that this is a move they can make now and only now with GH. And seeing a lot of great plays from him throughout this tournament. Just, I think what defines this player more than anything is just game sense. Like, GH has a very good eye for what works at what times in the game and how he should move around, and that's in a position 4 player in this patch, that is like the highest quality you can have, is that game sense.
We have a lane switch, middle lane, Courier snipe, Mind Control coming in for the kill on NCC. Miracle was already diving into the tower. Thanks to Nyx Assassin rotating towards bottom. Miracle and Kuro were not being punished for their dive. Mind Control, however, might but GH in the neighborhood. They're going to look for the double crush at GH. He'll connect a double kill for Mind Control, and GH, he's trying to get in front of him, almost attempting to get just in the line of Kaka. We cannot go through the trees. It won't work, and Team Liquid, they are everywhere on this map. SDCC has come back to the mid lane thanks to the Shrine, but I don't know if he really wants to be here. This is a horrendous lane to be in.
This is such an explosive start from Liquid. I think what plays a really big role here is obviously that first blood bottom sets up the Nature's Prophet to start already being active and moving around, getting the Courier snipe and the kill in mid. And I really dislike the Nyx Assassin skilling mana burn level 1. I think if what you're going to use it for is mana burning troll, you're actually hurting yourself more than him. You pay 100 mana to burn like 40, and you know, he could have maybe had the stun earlier, maybe they could have counterplayed or done something bottom for his Batrider.
Oh, something bottom, KP. GH again, trying to beat into him. He doesn't have a friend nearby. Lifestealer is currently taking care of the pull. KP was attempting just to break the equilibrium of that bottom lane.
Yeah, Liquid have gone for lane swap because I think the Lifestealer fares really poorly against Bloodseeker in this one-on-one matchup top, and Liquid don't want to commit supports to that lane. So instead they're going to send Mind Control up there, who should also be losing this lane, but after what he's already done, I think it's more, it's a better economic choice for Liquid to sacrifice Mind Control a little bit in this sense, and then give the Lifestealer a better matchup against the Batrider.
Open wounds on bottom, going after KP. GH has to crush the double, waiting out a little bit longer. The maximum amount of control time on KP. The Fireflies cutting the trees, and Matumbaman happy to walk through it. GH taking a lot of damage for this, but the kill, the fourth one, goes the way of Team Liquid.
This is going to empower Mugi a bit in that top lane with the Thirst kicking in, but still won't be able to run down Mind Control just yet.
That's a good thing to keep an eye on too, like how low everybody is and just how quickly Moogie is able to reach that level 6.
NEWBEE needs to solve this mid lane though. Man, this does not look good for them. They're actually getting completely destroyed in this game. It reminds me of was that game 3 against LFY where Liquid were just completely destroying the early game, and then LFY almost came back off that carry morphling. I believe that was the 3rd game. In this game, NEWBEE don't have that powerhouse carry that can bring them back. They really need Batrider to have a good game. He's having an awful time as well.
Yep,
Nobody on NEWBEE is having a good time apart from Bloodseeker. He's like their only hero right now.
Well, what are you going to do to rotate the support? The Crystal Maiden, the panel miner says she can come online early, but right now Faith has been spending more time moving between the lanes trying to help out than being able to level up and farm. In fact, even dying already. So that's why they're just backing off from the lane, letting Faith get some levels inside the jungle, letting everyone else rotate, and hoping that SE can use at least his spam with the slave to get control of this mid lane back again for Miracle. I say control, at least get some level of CS. Currently it's 11-0 to a 28-10 CS matchup in the mid. This is more than a stomping. This is what SECC did to LFY when they played against them in the winners bracket final.
I'll be honest with you though, it's pretty hard to play Lina in this game. In that lane, when you're playing against Lich Cole and a TPing Nature's Prophet, yeah, no player in the world can win this lane. Like, it's just not possible. Maybe that bot, if they train the bot a bit more, maybe match up, but no.
We only have real players in this grand final. Center and bottom lane, already Matumbaman going for another dive. KP has to take flight, but the open wounds are slowing down. GH is here. It's a secondary stun. That's all they want to hold him in position. KP will fall. And Team Liquid,
are they even killing him top, maybe?
NEWBEE able to TP out, mind control, they get the vision. And this was the only lane that was going decently for NEWBEE. And Liquid with the rotations up, mind control being here, the frost blast from Koro, they'll get the kill on the Bloodseeker.
Something that's really interesting about these Liquid games when they have the Nature's Prophet is it actually reminds me of how they play when they have the IO. It's what enables them to make these super early aggressive rotations around the map, just really put pressure on every single lane. They use the IO in that way, where IO maybe starts mid, wins that mid lane, then can always rotate over to get a kill with their off lane or whatnot. But they're using Nature's Prophet in a similar way, and when you see these games play out and how Liquid is used already in this game, the Nature's Prophet and the previous series, it makes you wonder if you should just actually start giving them that shaker, just so you can get to play Dota.
They're coming to mid. They're going to try and punish Miracle at the moment. A quick rupture. Miracle still close to the T1 tower. Has to try and run it off. He's got a lot of life, but without a TP scroll, can't really go anywhere. Mind control wants to Sprout control the hillside. And by the time he finishes the TP, mid lane is already dead. And finally, NEWBEE will get themselves on the board with a 1-6.
Yeah, I think SC really wanted that kill on Lina. It looked like he was trying to kill secure it, but the Blood Right did get the last hit. I think it's important for NEWBEE to get SCC online in this game. The Bloodseeker will have a fine time regardless. Like, sure, he died top, but he's the hero that has farm. You need to bring the other heroes into the game. And we see NEWBEE's approach to this is get the Nyx Assassin that safe lane, get him to level 6. Batrider will move to the stacks in the top side of his jungle. And that way they're trying to activate all of their heroes to maybe start being able to fight Liquid back in a few minutes, which I think is what they need. Like, this pace, their heroes can't keep up unless their supports get levels.
Liquid are looking to keep the pressure right over the observer board. GH now the range creep attacks him, pings out the fact that there is vision from NEWBEE down there.
Yeah, it's going to show that ward. Yep. Else the creep wouldn't have aggroed on him there. So good information for him to have.
And then mind control is exactly what he wants to do. Like, you talk about the Batrider leaving the top lane, just do his thing, farming up in the jungle, but mind control's up on this top lane, ready to pressure the T1 tower. Just like we saw previously, Moogie, he wants to run towards Matumbaman coming up with the tower. Here comes GH. It's the same gank over and over again. The Frostbite's nice, but then again the damage. Kaka can't turn for the stun, and the Infest. He's inside the creep, popping back out. Mind control will join the fight. Random nature damage has already been inflicted as GH, he's got sprint off cooldown in 2 seconds time. So give him the movement speed to catch up to Fate, especially when mind control holds him in the sprout. He's looking for the stun on Moogie. Kuro just lets the ulti go. They may, and yes, they do. They have enough damage to kill off Moogie, turning attention towards Fate. Fate falling for the second time this game.
Moogie was thinking about it on the Bloodseeker there. He was like hesitant, should I turn, should I not turn? Because of the damage that Lifestealer took with that rupture on. Matumbaman actually jumped out of the infest and started running a little bit, giving him a lot of strength. But, you know, the Lich came in from the side, Kuro with this really quick level 6, one of the big benefits of Lich. And he's going to just keep scaling with this max level and sacrifice 8 minutes in.
They're coming again. Bottom lane, mind control and Kuro are down here, but as GH, who's patrolling SC's farming in the jungle, NEWBEE does come to the bottom lane, trying to make that rupture do something. But for the moment, all they can do is try and interrupt GH. He's put an aggressive observer ward down, so we get a little bit of extra vision. As the rest of NEWBEE do move over, you'll see Karka. You'll end up seeing Boogie. GH, not sure how you get out of this one. Top lane, the fight's been going in the meantime. Is KP dying, but GH runs off the rupture, so a 1-1 trade-off on the opposite sides of the map.
I think GH was trying to force something out of NEWBEE there. I mean, he ran into SCC without any allies there. They couldn't have killed him with an HE Prophet TP either, so he was trying to scare them, maybe force TPs, try to maybe steal that creep. But NEWBEE's supports were already in the area, and they basically get themselves a little bit of a freebie on him. It's not the biggest kill ever, but anything right now for NEWBEE is important.
They'll take it. When they're about 5.8k in net worth behind, they're about 4k in the experience behind. You know NEWBEE are just begging for anything. Top lane, the Prophet's going to TP in, so well, if NEWBEE wants it, they could try and take a defense up here, but GH is also rotating around the back past the Radiant Ancients and towards KP, who actually can get sandwiched. That Observer Ward down once again. 2 aggressive Observer Wards. You wouldn't even think you're 10 minutes into this game, but it reveals KP's position perfectly. So the cross can come in, KP, he can Firefly and get up the hill. I say he can, he doesn't have the movement speed. Turning on the spot, almost like he's the one getting sticky napalmed up. And now it's 11-2 in favor of Team Liquid, going at more than 1 kill a minute.
Yeah, they're waiting for GH to get level 6, then I think they're just going to take Roche with this Troll. When he gets the Morbid Mask, and Troll can usually do it just with Morbid Mask alone, I think, when he's like this level 9. But Miracle is also going to have Ice Armor to help him and the Amplify out of GH. Now the Growth of Haze is online, they're going to smoke. Let's see if that's the exact movement.
Yeah, but
Karka is scouting out.
He's there under the cover of Vendetta. Where's your detection? There's a Sentry Ward available for Kuro, but at least Karka has this information. So here comes NEWBEE. You can Blood Right, you can find the control. Is Kuro getting caught out? SCC, he has Laguna Blade, doesn't want to burn it for just a lick. He wants a call, but he's not going to live long enough. Matumbaman just arrived, there's so much damage. Even GH getting that follow-up done onto KP. Firefly is available. He's now going to burn it. Lasso is up to the double stun from Karka, creating space. They're looking towards Slaughter. Anchor the cliff. The thing is about to begin. GH unwillingly left on the hill. Where's the stun? Where's the control? GH just TP's out under the cover of ball. Not too far away. He wants to stay in the fight, so he only went towards the shrine and then back to the mid. Matumbaman with no mana and Moogie moving at very, very fast speed. This is the downside about not TPing all the way back to base. Moogie currently is going at about 700 movement speed on this Bloodseeker. Liquid will not win a position battle with this Bloodseeker.
So NEWBEE do stop the Roshan, but they end up losing their Lina. So they made, not just the Lina. They lose the Lina and their Courier. I guess I didn't see that, but my control snipe did once again. So they lost Courier, they lost Lina, they got nothing out of that except protecting the Roshan. But it feels like Liquid will just be going there again fairly soon, as they are just so far ahead already.
If you want a snipe position, the Courier died on top of the Radiant throne. That's the death position of the Courier.
Sounds like an Aegis Prophet to me. So SC probably regrets not Lagooning the Lich there, right? It's just such a hard call to make because it looked like they were going to get the kill regardless. But Kuro is already fairly tanky with this Ice Armor at level 9. It's not the easiest support to bring down. Actually has the same health on Lich as the mid Lina does right now, being out-leveled by Kuro. That's a pretty bad sign for SC in this game when you're behind the supports, as the mid lane has the most experience this patch, so you're losing really damn hard on your mid hero.
They have to turn the attention back to what we almost said like 5 minutes ago, where NEWBEE just have to get anything they possibly can out of this map. Yep. Laguna Blade go for a kill. They're going to find Matumbaman, Karka, walking right over the top of him. Here goes your Eruption to start with, follow-up stun. Rage is available from the Lion Stealer, but then again when the silence is there, SCCC commits this time with Laguna Blade ending the killing spree. Sacrifices the tier 1 tower on bottom in the team Liquid took in the meantime.
Matumba knew that was a pretty high-risk play, I think. Just moving in there, his team were taking the bottom tier 1 towers. They felt like, okay, worst case scenario, I die for a tower. But I actually think NEWBEE weren't going to try to defend that anyway. He's just trying to get some sort of information into the Radiant jungle.
KP's hunting Kuro. He's trying to get vision. Now he's able to get it. Sticky Napalm, 2 stacks up, but Kuro back behind his creep wave and across the river where NEWBEE will not venture.
This is a really fast speed. Tranquils and Windlace.
The downside is his mission was to put down this Observer and Sentry, and both will now get de-warded.
Yep.
Thanks to the fact his positioning was scouted out.
This is crucial for NEWBEE. They have to just hold on to the map. If the map disappears for just a few minutes, then Liquid will take Roche, all the towers, and then eventually you're just not coming back into this game. They have to play, even though they're behind, they have to keep playing fast and try to make aggressive moves. It's what we saw LFY do in that third game that I'll be referencing quite a bit in this game, is that LFY got destroyed in the lanes, and then they played aggressively with smokes. Like, they just ran in and tried to take fights because they knew if they don't do anything, they're going to get starved out on the map and don't even have a chance to come up top. So there's a key item coming here. KP will get the Blink Dagger, so respectable 14-minute timing after getting completely destroyed in lane. 5 deaths, 14-minute blink. Pretty good from him.
It's been a rough day at the office for KP. There's no doubting that one. But you look at what target you can actually achieve with this. The Batrider is meant to be one of those great pickups to get the Nature's proper caught out when Mind Control goes for a split push. But if you look at Mind Control's items, he's at 2.6k gold, very rapidly approaching that Shadow Blade. So invis detection will be essential. They're going to try and do it the old-fashioned way. 3 heroes smoke up, down mid. They'll team up with SCCC. But Team Liquid already have 4 heroes at their Tier 1 tower. They're ready to defend this.
And I think Miracle instantly pinged out SC just appearing out of nowhere. So I think they know the smoke is happening. He didn't attack out of fog. He actually attacked in the creep vision. So Miracle has the info, and I don't think.
KP 5 wide up. Miracle's the opportunity.
Oh, he did
a blitz. He did a crush down the double stun. It's in there from Parker. Really catching Team Liquid on the back. Yes, Rather Nature bounces through, however, so at least they can get the leader back. But right now, 2 heroes down for either side. It's Faith on the run with Boogie down south away from Kuro. On Mind Control of Matumbaman, turn their attention towards Kaka. Another double stun from this Nyx assassin. And Team Liquid, they're going to be sad about this if they can't get more. They're looking for it under the Tier 1 tower. Boogie is here, ready to fight. Matumbaman stealing that life back, ready to fight up Kaka. Invis for the moment. They'll drop the sentry ward up the towers by Carapace, buying space for Kaka. They need more damage. Mind Control dusting up Kaka with a 6 charger, still alive, back out of the tower. He'll survive, but Mind Control is his TP, nothing to cancel it, so he'll get out. Kaka's done just a little bit too far off. And Liquid really looking to make up for that. GH maybe getting a little tired, meant to blink to crush, and it never came.
That was 100%. I'm positive that was a bait from Liquid to keep Miracle in the front lines, because GH could just blink crush the Batrider the moment the lasso came out, and he didn't get the blink off. Must maybe had it on the wrong hotkey. We're gonna see it here. So they jump Miracle, GH. Oh! And that's an infested Lifestealer as well. So Lifestealer now gets blinked into the fight afterwards. And that was really awkward. So it ends up being a 2-for-2, clearly favoring NEWBEE when you're this far behind. They catch up a little bit.
Oh, GH. He has a hate spirit while being roasted. This is the worst contradiction of abilities.
I love that stutter step you start doing when you're ruptured with the in those situations. Like, I need to bring the medicines, but I need to not die.
One step where I'm a slaughter, I don't step.
So another kill. All right, NEWBEE are showing signs of life in this game. This game could have already been completely out of control if it was not one of these top caliber teams. They're even going to find Kuro in mid. Another kill.
And they are able to bring down the Lich. Nature's Prophet, however, now with the Shadow Blade, he's become the infest bomb, working to bring down Boogie. Boogie doesn't have the life to survive this, trying to go left and right, but that's not you. Matumbaman and Mind Control team up beautifully and find that pick-off. The rest of NEWBEE now rotate up, and they're looking for the aggressive wards of Team Liquid. But Liquid, very, they're changing that ward position every single time.
And now they're going to go aggressively on mid. Oh, Crush actually connects, but nobody can really follow up on this.
They're looking towards that mid. There is no lasso available. The tower's already taken. So really smart from Liquid. With no Bloodseeker, hard to take the fight. In fact, Team Liquid now turn their attention towards Roshan. This is a very obvious move, however, considering they're doing it underneath that Radiant Observer ward. Quick sentries down, so NEWBEE will get rid of high ground vision the Team Liquid have around the pit. So they go from more defensive ward. Roshan's down to 2k. KP, he doesn't have the Firefly. Blink is up in 1 second time. 1 second will be perfect. But then again, the initiation's already happened. Faith letting it go. Matumbaman sitting right in front, taking it at the same time. You've got SCC, a perfect stun. Troll Warlord's out. Kaka wants his TP. These Ancients are not his friends. That Lich ulti just would not stop the bounce. SCC, he's on the run now. From 2 heroes, about to become 3, but the third doesn't even arrive in time. This leader just does not have the life to survive in the engagements. And Aegis the Immortal remains on Miracle.
This should be the tier 2 as well. Mind Control was out hunting couriers once again. But didn't find it this time though. But connect with his team immediately, and here goes the push again. So Liquid, a little bit of a hiccup before, but they've immediately stabilized again, getting the Aegis, now the tier 2. progressing toward even more key items. There's going to be the Desolator will come out for Lifestealer after this tower, making that Lifestealer bomb a lot more dangerous. And they have these two ways of jumping in. I think when you're playing Lifestealer, having two, I generally call them vehicles, is really powerful because when you're the opposing team, if you're playing against Lifestealer and it's like, there's a Lifestealer bomb with Puck, then if you see Puck on the map, you're like, okay, well, that means Lifestealer he can either be infested in this guy that we see or he's unlikely to jump me. When there's two options, whenever mind control shows, they need to be scared of GH and vice versa. So there's no guarantee that NEWBEE can ever really split. And I think that's such a powerful combination with Nature's Prophet, right? That he can both be the vehicle and the one forcing the split. And then you use Lifestealer together with that. So it's something we've seen historically, quite a lot of games actually, Nature's Prophet and Lifestealer together. It's just a proven combo. It works so well.
So many players missing on the map for NEWBEE at the moment. The only one that was showing themselves was KP previously. Now SC shows himself up on the top, so Liquid want to work it out. It won't be too difficult. Just move to the top lane and look for that fight. Mind control. ETP'd in almost on top of his tier 2 tower, just to try and add a little bit of momentum. KP, Firefly is up, already started to TP as Firefly is wearing off. They don't want this fight. Team Liquid just not coming to keep Liquid fast enough for their life.
A little bit too early on the opening for Mind Control. I think he wanted that exact thing to happen.
He just kind of invis through the bottom river, and SCCC is probably the one. No, they're all backing up. NEWBEE didn't see this. Their observer wards are mainly focused around Roshan on both the northern side as well as the southwest. So they just they farm in the protected areas, or at least the vision areas.
GH. That in this room can't toggle sprint without breaking it.
Oh, he's found a target.
Slowly but steadily just blow up.
Walked up. He doesn't have invis available, and it really gets a blow up.
That's even a Nature's Prophet ultimate connecting there from Mind Control. Very nice timing. Didn't need it, but you know, style points.
Mind control might even have a crack for KP. Sprout
here.
Just looking for the flying vision on KP. There's more support on the way. GH sprint comes off cooldown, so he'll have that movement speed, but KP wisely playing the mind game. He's got 16 seconds till his TP comes off cooldown, so he blinks and goes deeper into the dire jungle. Even if he does die, he's still wasting time with Team Liquid if they chase him.
Whose time is he really wasting though? That's the question. I mean, they're like, whatever. Let him cut away. I think KP is doing the perfect thing here, trying to bring down.
Oh wow, he actually could have sniped the curve if he went half a second longer.
I think he would have died. I'm pretty sure.
In his mind, he thought that mind control. He was looking for the TP, Miracle wrapping around the back. Assassin wears that detection. They actually don't have it yet. It was coming on the Curry over the 2 sentry wards. So Kaka, he's wrapping up. The Curry is flying in at the moment, but already that tower is gone.
He saw it on the ward. He's gonna get this.
On the way back, he's got the damage. Get ready for res, everybody. Kaka, snipe, boom, done. 36 people are now happier.
41. I think NEWBEE got slightly happier as well.
Okay, baby Kaka's not so happy. Faith in the bottom lane. Mind control is just stalking this fortress. Remain twist the tree. It's down. Frostbite. Wrath of Nature bouncing through. Faith, lucky for the moment, tries to cut his way through the trees. Has a couple of one charges. Difficult to run on that bottom lane while Kuro initiates the top. Faith will still actually successfully TP out of that bottom lane fight. While Liquid were looking for the real big initiation up on top. They'll force the issue anyway in a bit. Miracle has that BKB to come.
I think we're approaching the point when NEWBEE have their best chance of the game, apart from that one early fight they took that was good. They almost have the Radiance on Bloodseeker, and Lina is close to... I mean, he's not going to get the full Bloodstone probably in time for that, but he can maybe have the Soul Booster, so they have something to fight back with. They're not going to win by just sitting in their base. Like, and at the same time, it's so scary to come out. That's the power of Liquid's draft, but you got to play to your strengths. So I think NEWBEE, they'll get this Radiance, they'll try for a smoke play, see if they can get a couple of picks or maybe even a full-on team fight. And if that doesn't work, they might just end up conceding the game. Because I think if they lose this next fight, they're going to lose their base, more than likely.
Yeah, and they're aware of that. So everything that they can do, pickoffs to try and delay the fight, get their better items before Liquid come high ground. That's what they have to look for, but Liquid are just always together now. 5 heroes, 1 infest inside the Slaughter. Nyx Assassin gets some good hits. Miracle, Mind Control, all visible. Taka needs a good opening, but they've already lost KP. So the opening is gone. The Blink Last Zone, they can't get on the back line, but the best way NEWBEE could have begun this fight, but it's too late now. As Liquid man down on this bottom lane. No Agency Ball in Miracle, but the BKB is ready to be popped.
100 gold for Radiance. He got it there. That mod rate. He's going to buy that and send it out to himself.
She's holding on to his buyback. Nick Assassin is the one that initiated on Spike. Cameras creates a little bit more space. Can't get the stun. The Laguna Blade does pop the starter. Swiss amplification is gone. The Mind Control with his own BKB up and running is already beaten the crap out of the tower. Live Stealer stunned up from SDCCC, but he doesn't have enough damage. Without the Laguna Blade, they cannot pop that armor toggling Live Stealer. The Bloodline will force Team Liquid back. There's a tier 3 tower limping alive.
And now he's going to buy the Radiance. So Liquid backing off. Mugi feels like, okay, they can't go immediately again. Chose to hold on to the buyback, as you mentioned. I think that could have been a moment of opportunity, to be honest. Like, Liquid had 3 heroes dropping below half, so the Bloodseeker was getting really fast. And if he has a Radiance there and they connect on literally any spell, he could maybe get in and get some damage off. With Sardar dead, his Bloodseeker is not that instant of a kill anymore without that amplification towards the phase. But it's very clear how NEWBEE stand mentally in this game. They feel very pressured.
They need KP.
And here we go.
There's so much pressure on KP to get that Blink Lasso, because then they can just focus one target, pick him off straight away. They want to be Miracle, so that BKB never comes into play. Smoke, oh, Nick's Assassin, again, great vision up from him. He'll come underneath the Dire Sentry Ward, and they'll see he misses the track, and now they're jumping in, hitting very hard. Slider so low, he will fall the lasso. Then pushing the Troll Ball on, up on the cliff. KP successful with that, while the Rupture on the backline's Mind Control. BKB won't protect him from this. Mugi, he's got the damage output, but not when he's getting Frost Blast down on 98. Matumbaman needs to hit, able to do so. 3 heroes lost and Miracle clipped.
Oh, what a nice view.
He gives a TP scroll over that.
That's looking down. Great. Just yelling from the distance. Great job, team.
It's like, Kuro, you must do your job as a support. Please send me a TP scroll ASAP.
So that fight, I think, could have maybe gone different if Bloodseeker got the last hit, but Lina took the kill, so the Bloodseeker didn't heal up, and then Matumbaman just walks in and gets that kill. At the same time, though, if this jump from GH connects, I think it's just an absolute trashing, but he was guessing for the Nyx, he didn't have the information. Misses the stun, they instantly kill him. Shrining that look, Maiden just gets 2-shot by Life Stealer.
Oh, we can come back live as Team Liquid pushing into the bottom lane. Troll Ball, Lord, the dust is up. They have the vision. Laguna Blade's available. They're saving it. They don't need it to get this kill on the Troll Ball, Lord. And now it's Team Liquid on the run. GH is arriving, and so is Nature's Prophet. Invest up. They're going in once more. Blink looking for the crush. The Frostbite, perfect coming from base, creating space. There's still the Troll Ball Lord down. The Courier is the only thing for the Radiant side to die until Fate then follows it into the grave. Life Stealer, they've got to keep that detection up. Sentry Ward is down. The Glimmer Cape of Kuro really causing problems for NEWBEE to commit these protection items. But Matumbaman, oh no, the Lincoln Sphere! He had it up, KP blinking, he went for the Lasso. The Lasso is the thing to trigger the Lincoln Sphere, and now it's 4 heroes down. I don't know if NEWBEE can really repel this. They may even lose SCCC. Mike from BKB protect himself from the Live Strike Array, and now he'll die. The denial from the Bloodstone, but this is not the position NEWBEE thought they were going to have. They were the ones to get the initial kill. And now they're losing 2 lanes of frags.
Liquid showing really good fighting understanding here. They lose their troll, and a lot of teams will be like, all right, we lost our Terra, we gotta back off. But they played the high ground advantage very nicely. They get the turnaround with the quick and fast play, and just understand that in this position they can win the fights 4 on 5 or 4 on 4 at the very least if the right abilities have been used. And that's going to be 2 lanes of barracks here, looking toward the end of a quick game 1, unless NEWBEE pull off some absolutely miraculous smoke play.
And
nope.
GG, they know it's over. You've lost 2 lanes of frags. Liquid showed the lower bracket matchup that they would hold their advantage. They would keep.
So this is where we're going to need to see how
tap out and pushes into game 2.
So this is where we're going to need to see how the teams adapt. They tried to counterpick this Nature's Prophet with 2 heroes. They got the Nyx and the Mat Rider. Mind Control still ran them over in the laning stage completely. I'm expecting a Nature's Prophet ban or pick from NEWBEE in the next game early on.
Rode down well with the Troll. The Nyx Assassin had no influence on it. They had to shore up their lanes, NEWBEE. They cannot lose 2 out of 3 of their lanes.
Yeah, to me, this game is really difficult to play for NEWBEE. I looked at this draft and I was like, okay, Liquid are in a really good position in this game. If they play their lanes right, they keep surprising me with how much mind control manages to do with this Nature's Prophet, and that's why I think NEWBEE plan ahead for that in the next game. Either ban it or get something even better than this. I mean, I don't know.
Well, Team Liquid continue their run. It started in the lower bracket and it keeps going through. They are 1 game up in this best of 5 grand final at the International.
In Game 3 of the last series, Team Liquid came off to a huge start and then struggled to close out, but that was not the case in that last game. Team Liquid started in dominating fashion, continued in dominating fashion. To talk about that series with me, we got Sumail and Crit from EG, and also Merlini. Gentlemen, that was one-sided from start to finish.
How much do you love this Lich meta, Sumail?
I personally hate it a lot. I think it's one of the least skill-based hero. It just takes the fun out of the game. Literally just like takes it out of the game.
Well, talk to me about the impact of Lich in the mid game in terms of how it shapes what you're able to do.
He's like, first off, he's a very strong laner because the experience advantage, like the bad thing, or like not the bad thing, but like there's a problem with dual lanes mid, or like dual lanes everywhere, that you get like lesser experience in the solo, but Lich just takes it out completely from the game, and like you actually have just the same amount of experience as your solo hero. And in mid game, like the frost armor thing is like really, really good for, like, you just put it on your carry and he's gonna seize the building. So yeah.
Crit, I want to get your thoughts about the impact plays that you see coming out of their draft.
Well, for me, I think the biggest part about Liquid's draft that changed was that they first faced the Nature's Prophet. And in the series that we played against them in the group stage, that hero was really hard to play against. And I think NEWBEE have to react to that in some way, that they have to consider first phase banning this hero or figure something out. They might want to play against their Caudal or their Wisp, something like that, because I think giving mind control to these heroes where he can just dominate his lane and then transition into map control is really hard to play against.
Yeah, mind control really dominated start to finish. I mean, even the crazy courier dive. And I don't think NEWBEE ever had comfort in any of their lanes, really.
Not really. GH ruined both mid and bottom constantly. He was everywhere. It was really easy for them to shift lanes too with the mind control Nature's Prophet. He TP'd mid and then he went top to lane against a Bloodseeker. Bloodseeker was the only one who had a good time. But speaking from NEWBEE's point of view, because they're the ones that need to change things, is there anything special that you think they can bring to deal with Liquid's draft? Is there any way they can get the upper edge or at least maybe even win in the draft?
Well, the way I see it is that if they want to keep prioritizing this Bloodseeker, they're going to have to probably ban the Nature's Prophet, because that's one of the only matchups where Bloodseeker doesn't win. So I feel like that was a big problem for them, because they usually rely on this Bloodseeker having a good matchup, and then KPI like going off lane with support, and then he's enabled in that way. But this game they have like 3 bad lanes, and this Bloodseeker's purpose is kind of diminished. And I feel like that's probably the biggest thing they have to think about. If they want to make this Bloodseeker work, they have to think about the heroes that he can't lane against.
And what about in terms of trying to protect mid? What's the way that NEWBEE needs to step it up and have an efficient mid game?
I think you just need to like pick heroes who are like with the escape abilities. Otherwise, you have to like I don't know, invest a lot of heroes mid, which I don't think is really good for the meta. It probably is. But it's the ideal way is to do it like just pick like stuff like Quap and Pug. So it's really hard to pressure. And even if you pressure it, all they need is like some experience, and they're gonna like have a bigger impact in the game.
Yeah.
That's why heroes like Lina and stuff are struggling in the meta, because there's like prophets being picked, and like someone just wraps around. There's Furon in your lane, and there's like 4 heroes in your lane, and like it's really rough to like deal with it. And yeah.
Ferg, I want to get your thoughts on the series in terms of how Liquid was able to dominate seemingly all 3 lanes right from the get-go.
Yeah, the lane rotations were a big aspect, the Nature's Prophet especially. GH started in the off lane to set up an early kill on Batrider. They did some great body blocking, which gave them all these easy right clicks. And getting first blood like that is a huge advantage. It allows GH to leave his lane, go somewhere else, help out other spots. A short minute later or so, that's when we first saw the initial teleport from Nature's Prophet. He's able to snipe a courier, and they get the Lina. And the CM comes in, and ultimately they are able to kill her too with GH moving over from that bot lane. So they were just getting kills after kills after kills with absolutely no response. And I was a bit concerned and confused as well why they got so much with nothing in return. And I took a look at Kaka's perspective, and he had a lot of troubles finding efficiency. Sumail mentioned maybe dual mid, not the most efficient thing. And that's basically what Kaka did here. He was maybe expecting a dual lane of his opponents. He grabs mana burn level 1, he uses it, but it's a really long skill cooldown, and it doesn't really help that much in ganks. He moves all the way to the bot lane because Batrider got ganked, and then as that dive that I just showed you happens, he TPs the mid lane, has no mana, has no skill. So they were kind of playing a 4v5 at the start of the game, and their other support, Crystal Maiden, also isn't very good at early trading. So I think that really cost them a lot in those early fights.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Nyx have an extremely high win rate overall, but that doesn't necessarily translate to huge power automatically.
Yep, he's got to be in the right place at the right time.
And with that, Team Liquid is currently getting huge momentum in this, having win after win after win after win in lowers, and NEWBEE have been waiting around all day to play, and in their very first match, very one-sided loss. So with that, Game 2 will be coming up soon, and before we go to that, we got Casey in the crowd. What's the mood like in the Key Arena?
All right, what's the mood like in Key Arena? Ooh, look at all those lights. What? All right. What did you think of that first game?
It's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I'm a fan of Dota.
Go ahead, now say it.
I was saying hi to my boy Aram. Shout out.
Why don't we just do a shout-out show? Who has people they want to say hi to? All right, do you think this is going to go to 5 games? Who has a prediction?
I have no idea. It's going to be Liquid in Game 4.
Liquid in 4. Wow. Anybody else have a different? You guys are doing such great handwork over here. Do you want us to put you on camera? Shout out to KP. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, I hear an LC accent. Excuse me, pardon me. Sorry, pregnant lady coming. Now say it, go ahead, say it.
Shout out to KP, doing it for Australia. Good luck, mate.
Good luck, mate. Good luck, mate. Okay, I'm gonna sit. Oh, who's ready to watch some more Dota? You guys can do better than that. Who's ready to see some awesome Dota? We're getting hype in here. I don't know about you guys on the panel, but we need your energy to match ours, so I want to see some.
All right, guys, are you ready for this next match? Woo!
That's good.
Yes, that was okay. All right, now, as we're going into this very next game, I just want to ask straight up, what is the big shift in drafting that we need to see out of NEWBEE?
I think NEWBEE should focus more on mind control, because I feel like he's been the best player this tournament. Like, he's been super consistent. His game impact is high every game. And yeah, I think all they have to do is just focus on him. And like, if you shut him down, I think the games are gonna be like a bit less difficult for NEWBEE.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked so much about the captain, KuroKy, GH on Wisp, and Coddle, Miracle, Matumbaman keep changing position 1, position 2 roles. But mind control right in the middle has been one of the highest impact players here. Creating your mind.
I think I agree with Simone on this. I think for me, for sure, Mind Control has been the best player this tournament. Even if they lose this series, he might still be the MVP, to me at least. I think a big part of it is something Peter mentioned earlier, was that they played one game where he played Earthshaker, and it didn't really work out for them when he was playing Initiator. I think if Liquid stick to this Nature's Prophets and Beastmasters, it's going to work out way better for them. And I think NEWBEE have to try and work around how they want to draft for the lanes, because this game I'm pretty sure they had priority and they chose second pick. And the problem with that they had this game was that they got counterpicked in the second phase. They picked Batrider and Liquid picked Lifesteal right after. And if they have these bad lane matchups and this Bloodseeker first phase doesn't have a good lane, then it's going to be hard for them to take control back from Liquid, because what Liquid do every game is that they win their lanes and then they just slowly take over the game.
We saw Liquid dominate a few of the series earlier. I have to ask you, as an expert drafter, when you saw like Liquid dominate some of these teams with crap drafts, where you're like, oh man, these drafts are trash, or were you like, maybe they're onto something here? Do you give them the benefit of the doubt?
I mean, I think for us, Liquid was one of the teams we drafted against a lot because we scrimmed against them, and then we played them in the group stage. And personally, I think in the group stage we did well in the drafts. We had some open drafts, and we knew how they wanted to play. We had some lane shove for their Nature's Prophet, and it was hard for us. It was really hard to play against Liquid, and we realized at that point that they were a super good team. So even if you look at the drafts and you're not sure about it, you have to still, like for me at least, I can know that they're a really good team and they're hard to play against. So you have to give the team some credit, even if it looks bad in the draft. It's hard.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting to see a lot of the Chinese teams kind of stick to pretty clear roles and pretty clear identities as to who's going to be playing who throughout the drafting. And I know EG was really big on these kind of ambiguous drafts where it's unclear. Mirana going mid, is Mirana roaming? You know, what is it that, is that a type of style that NEWBEE could bring to possibly disrupt Team Liquid, or in your experience against them, do they just seem too good?
I think NEWBEE isn't that, it's like they share the same ideas as us, and it's a pretty good strategy, to be honest, because like, we caught almost every team off guard in the group stages, but like at one point teams are gonna notice it, and maybe like NEWBEE probably haven't like abused that much, but they can still do it, and I think it's like really helpful. Because in Liquid's case, I think Matumbaman is their second best player, because that guy plays everything, any role, and he's like excellent on it, and he just doesn't get enough credit for it. So I think they can do something like that, but I just don't know if they have like enough potential to do it, like, because Matumbaman is like way more talented than Mugi, I think.
I mean, it's pretty crazy to think how, honestly, seemingly impossible it is to ban against Team Liquid. If you start banning Earthshaker and Nature's Prophet, they get Wisp, they get Coddle. You ban Wisp, you get Coddle. We saw first pick Nature's Prophet here. Merlini, do you think there's even a way for SCCC to get online?
They just need more special tricks. We've seen them first phase Bloodseeker 4 games in a row. Okay, we need to see more from NEWBEE in this time. Liquid, we've seen so many different things from them. Games where they just completely ignored Keeper. They've shown so many different strats. Like, you have to ban through them, and the entire, like, just the entire draft is completely difficult.
Well, we've seen NEWBEE be currently the most successful team in the tournament, getting all the way to the winners final undefeated. So, of course, they are there for a reason. But Team Liquid has had the experience to test their drafting techniques as the tournament has gone on. Can NEWBEE step it up in game number 2? Let's find out.
NEWBEE versus Team Liquid. Grand Finals, Game 2.
Have to change a lot of their early bans. First ban.
It's a big decision for them to ban this Nature's Prophet. I think it's the right call to make. To me, it says that they're probably going to stick with their Bloodseeker, because I think before playing against Nature's Prophet, they haven't really encountered anything that Bloodseeker couldn't lane against. So they start out with Lich. I guess it's sort of a denied pick as well. It's an open first pick, so pretty good for them to have their support shown only. I think it's weird to me if it's actually like this, where NEWBEE had selection priority in the first game, and Liquid this game, then NEWBEE took second pick first game, and now they have first pick. So if that's the case, I assume that both teams prefer second pick.
I mean, Team Liquid. You know, these are their two winningest heroes. Just getting them right out of the way right now, you now know you're going to have a strong win with Venomancer.
I mean, that's a great thing about Liquid, in my opinion, because they have just so many things they can pull off the back. Like, I personally think they are the hardest team to like craft against, because their hero pool is just like, they can play almost every single hero in the game, I feel like. And when, you know, like some team picks LC second, you know they're kind of lost. That's the case with NEWBEE right now.
Walk me through that. Make it explicit for all the non-professional players out there.
I don't know. Fred, would you like to explain?
I mean, I think this Legion Commander hero is the hero that the Chinese team like a lot. I think it's pretty exclusive with Lich. There might be something to it against Venomancer. It's a pretty okay lane matchup against Veno, so I'm guessing that's their idea. I think the good thing about Liquid's opener is that they have two heroes that they've played in multiple roles. They can enable each other in the way that Mind Control can play this Venomancer. Because GH plays Shaker, then he can block the offlane wave, and then this Veno is enabled. So for Liquid, the difference between Liquid's first two in this game and NEWBEE's last game is that their draft is open. And I think if you want to, if I go from the assumption that they took second pick, this is what you need to abuse, because if you run into the second phase where you have to show your course, you're going to get counterpicked. But this way they kind of avoid it, so it's a good opener from Liquid.
We've been talking about all of these heroes that are good versus summons. Shaker, the one that Team Liquid have been going to. Legion Commander actually not that bad of a matchup versus Nature's Prophet, but I think overall the playstyle from Nature's Prophet too good in Liquid's hands. And yeah, it is one of the few heroes that can stand toe-to-toe versus Benno in lane.
You know who's really good against summons, Merlini? It's Winter Warwind.
Yeah. Can't argue with that.
The NEWBEE could have used it last game, to be honest. I was talking to Crit and he thought that was a real good pick there.
This isn't even for the memes, but I think when they picked Crystal Maiden, I was thinking to myself, this is where they should pick Winter Wyvern. And I know the hero hasn't had a lot of success, and I know there's a lot of memes about it.
It has not had success.
Yeah,
but you have to look at the games because one of the games we played against Liquid in the group stage, we were playing with Bad Rider and Winter Wyvern, and the Wyvern, the way it works against Liquid, especially against this Nature's Prophet, is that it gives you a support that can push out waves, and it's also a strong laner. Most supports can't really match up against Nature's Prophet on lanes, but what Wyvern does is that he moves between lanes instead. So I thought it was an interesting idea, but this game obviously no Nature's Prophet, so I doubt they will even be thinking about it.
We see the Morphling ban, and there was some intimidating Morphling play out of Miracle in this tournament, and well, I guess, you know, fourth ban on the Coddle and on the Dazzle. This Dazzle pick is, this Dazzle ban is kind of interesting to me.
Dazzle is a straight up counter to Legion Commander, because you want to duel and burst someone, but Dazzle is Graves do.
Oh, of course.
And so the entire duration of duel is a bit less than the Dazzle Grave duration, so it's like a straight up counter. And this feel like Liquid could probably use some lane pressure, and Dazzle is lane pressure, I think. Don't like they should ban.
Now, Ancient Apparition is an interesting pick in Team Liquid's history because they have been first banning it most of the time in their lower bracket run back.
Yeah, I think the reason why NEWBEE banned these two heroes were because they know that Liquid have to pick a position 5 first thing in the next in this phase, because they're gonna probably assume that this Shaker is gonna be GH, but they don't know if this Venno is gonna be, like, which core it's gonna be. They know it's gonna be a core. So Liquid basically have no reason to show a core on this third pick, and they decided to pick AA. It could have been Dazzle, was probably the best option, and then I think they banned Coddle because of the comfort. And then I think AA is just as good as others, honestly, but it's hard for NEWBEE to ban out all the good position 5s right now.
Now, in terms of those cores, what do you see coming forward down the line from NEWBEE? What types of cores are they going to be exploring?
It could be an AM game. You guys love AM versus Benno.
I think
so far it's okay.
Yeah, but everyone on the team feels like that Shaker is a direct counter to AM. Yeah. And if you add AA with that, I think it's not the dream AM game.
But I think there's a difference between playing AM against the support Shaker and mid lane Shaker. Because what we would like to do against AM if we had Benno and Shaker is that we would put Shaker mid, because the physical burst is really good against AM. So NEWBEE picked Sanking here, which is what they were probably supposed to do. They needed to pick some position 4 because they don't know the cores of Liquid yet. And this is where Liquid, they kind of have to pick a core, commit to something. It could be
That's a... Actually, I don't know if that's a really good thing.
I think what they're thinking is that they don't want this Venomancer to lane against Legion Commander. So most likely what's going to happen is that they're going to put this Venomancer in mind control, put him off lane, and then this Necrolize is going to go safe lane against Legion, which is probably a lane that they think is good. I'm not sure how it goes with Lich on the lane as well. Could be a bit hard.
So we have some nice ability to catch with Sand King's stun, Legion Commander's ultimate duel.
I think from what I've seen from Liquid, actually, they played yesterday. They banned AA twice. That was against LGD, I think. I'm not sure. I think it was LGD, but they banned AA twice in the first phase, and both those games they went for some heroes that are like countered by AA. They went for Necrophos in one game, and the other game they went for Husker, I think. So this game they picked AA and they picked the Necrophos, so they're abusing that this hero is not available for NEWBEE.
NEWBEE picks Crop.
10 seconds
I don't know, it does not look like a very good Crop.
No, but I think the reason why they pick Crop here is because they have to pick their mid hero before Liquid shows theirs. And I think they're scared of picking them, like getting a bad matchup mid. But when you have Queen of Pain, the chances of you having a good matchup is pretty high. And they had to pick it before Liquid anyway. So basically, they know that Liquid's last hero is going to be a miracle hero that's going to go mid.
10 seconds remaining.
I guess it's one of the finest heroes to put mid against Liquid, because they like to rotate
Yeah,
on
they
a lot.
like to play around mid. So it's good to have a mobile hero there.
Last ban is Weaver for Team Liquid. Still no 5th ban from NEWBEE. And we've seen Team Liquid do really powerful last picks. Are there any big standouts for Team Liquid that you think are significant threats NEWBEE needs to look out for?
I think Miracle might just go and be like, pick me in mid.
Yeah, I could see that happen. I think that this is the hardest part when you play against Liquid and they have last pick, is that they have a lot of options on that pick. They can play like most mid heroes mid, and they can play a lot of safe laners mid as well. So it's really hard to predict what they want to go for. I think NEWBEE just have to take like just think of the worst hero for them. Like, what's the worst hero that Liquid could pick, and they just have to ban it, even if they don't think it's that possible, because it's gonna happen. Liquid know what heroes are good for the game.
What are some of those worst heroes?
It's hard to say this game. I think if you play against this team, I would probably say Anti-Mage, because it's a comfort hero for them, and they have the heroes that can create space for him. It's a decent lane against Bob, so I think maybe Anti-Mage. They ban Lightning. Not sure why they would ban Lightning.
It looks like a really
It's a good Anti-Mage game. I think it makes perfect sense for them, because they know the Shaker is going to be supported, and they see Necropulse and Venomancer. Two cores that are not very good against Anti-Mage.
Yeah, once mid-game kicks in, Lich, Legion Commander, Sand King, and Queen of Pain can do all sorts of attempts at ganking, bombing in, trying to get pickoffs, while Anti-Mage sits back and comfortably farms.
Yeah, but one thing NEWBEE changed this game is that they have a lot of lane pressure.
Select your heroes.
Alright. We have seen Team Liquid in this situation before. Their Alchemist against an Anti-Mage. We've also seen Team Liquid in their last 2 games put up dominating performances in the first 5 minutes. And the question on everyone's mind is, can NEWBEE pull it together and succeed in Game 2? Let's find out. Take it away, Toby.
You know, no team has ever lost the winners bracket quarterfinal, made the lower bracket run, and won a grand final at TI. No player has won TI multiple times, and no brand has actually won TI multiple times. We get to scratch a couple of these things off at the end of this grand final, but who will it be? This draft looks a lot more balanced, to at least give us a good contest.
Yeah, I think NEWBEE made the necessary adjustments based on game number 1. I like, as much as the panel were uncertain about this Legion Commander pick, I like the idea of just having something stronger in lane. They have Lich and Legion as their first 2 picks. To me, that just screams out, okay, we got destroyed in lanes, we can't let it happen again. So they've solved that. Now Liquid are taking a bit of a slower approach in this game, a bit more greedy, which they also are very good at playing with this Necrophos and Alchemist. But NEWBEE, I think, made the right preparation into that last phase, getting the Anti-Mage pick that the panel thought would be great for Liquid. They steal it themselves and set themselves up for what I think could be a pretty good NEWBEE game. Challenge here is to shut down the Alchemist. If Alchemist doesn't have a good game, I'm all NEWBEE on this one. But do they have the right heroes for it? They at least have the Lich.
Yeah,
to start.
They had the Lich to at least balance out the lane, and maybe that's when we start to see the movement of Karka being one of the other critical points. You don't have that invis hero like we saw Bounty Hunter messing around with Alchemist in the previous match. In the playoff time around, how much do you get? How big does the Alchemist get? And how well can NEWBEE control it and potentially win this game 2 and force us into almost a best-of-3 situation, you can describe it as.
Yep. It's going to be really interesting to see what goes down here. Also, something that NEWBEE secured themselves in this game that they didn't have in the last game. I think when you have a player like STC, you want to make sure he gets a good start. I think they sacrificed him way too hard mid in the last game. Arguably, maybe they didn't even have a choice, but his lane just went way too bad, and this time they have given him a strong laner in the Queen of Pain, one of his absolute best.
The smoke. Korra puts down the Observer Ward. He'll actually break each other's smokes, and Karka wants to go on the run. It is a Boots first SK. And yeah, they do throw down the Sentry Ward, so they're going to give Queen of Pain the extra money and the vision advantage in mid. You wanted SCC to have a really fantastic lane in mid. Now you've lost that Observer Ward that's meant to gain it, and the other Observer Ward's already been placed up on the northern side to save Mind Control on that off lane. And Mind Control's going to have a hard time against Mugi. Mugi's preparing himself for a lot of damage. PMS and 4 tangos is his way to start that top lane.
Yeah, this is, in my book, a very Anti-Mage favorite lane, when he has the safe lane and Venom's off lane. I don't think if this is even just a flat-out isolated one-on-one, Mugi will be able to take control of this lane fairly quickly. Now, Something I would like to see Faith do in this game for NEWBEE is it looks like he's going to start dual offlane with Legion. In the past, we've seen something like Warlock Legion, Commander Lane, Dazzle Legion be very powerful. I think
Mind control.
Skill Blink can get out.
Actually, yeah, there's no Gale. I thought for a moment they might have committed that, but mind control. He's looking for the chip damage to start with.
That's decent, though. Even forcing him to skill Blink here is going to make Mind Control's laning situation a lot better, because AM wants to skill Mana Break and use that Sand King stun to pressure the Venomancer in lane. Now that Kuro is there and they have this dual lane set up, they'll be doing fine. So what I would like to see from NEWBEE is this Legion Commander will get some help in the bottom from Lich. I think Lich should double down on this mid. I think they should really try to destroy Alchemist as much as they can. And then if Legion suffers a bit against Necro, then so be it. I think Legion will actually be just fine in that matchup for quite a while. One of the more sustainable heroes. But they look to contest Matumbaman as their first priority so far.
Yep. This will also allow KP to ensure his farm on this bottom lane, maybe rushing that timing of the Blink Dagger so they can get the jump initiation, control the Alchemist earlier on, because they don't have that straight up initiation just yet. GH has all the initiation he wants, especially with SCCC. He doesn't actually have his Blink available, so runs around the corner. Still a Shadow Strike available, so he can actually do some return damage into GH if he likes. But he's got a creep wave coming. He wants to wait for it.
He wants to do the damage to Miracle. If he's spending mana in this lane, he wants it to go into that Alchemist.
Kaka, oh, they're body blocking Kuro. Moogie blinked in front of him, so the blink actually works to get close towards Kuro. Now he has level 2, so mana breaks available. Kuro's on the run, wants to try and juke in the bog before it won't be successful. NEWBEE, this time around, they'll be the ones to spill first blood, and it goes to an anti-mage.
Very good start for the AM in that regard. Has 0 CS, however. Still not a single creep being brought down by Moogie. That's the benefit of this aggressive dual lane that Liquid ended up putting. Kuro will die, but so far so good still for Liquid's gameplay, I feel. The Alchemist is having a good start in the mid lane, and apart from Kuro's death, they're just fine.
Matumba, Faith wants to block him. You got the cross blast off cooldown right now. Matumba can't make his way back through the tree line. KP, he actually blocked it perfectly at NEWBEE to get another kill on the opposite lane core.
I wonder if Matumba could have survived that if he used his wand and his fairy fire. Maybe he could have gone into the trees and salved up, but decided to hold on to them. Probably felt like there was no way he was going to survive that at all. And will be killed off. So let's see what the Lich does now. I still have my eyes on Faith. It tells a lot about NEWBEE's approach to the game, which lane they send this Lich to. GH will steal the bounty rune, one of the benefits of Shaker, this ability to block off
mid lane. Miracle. All right, very, very dead. Kaka was rotating in, but 2 points up in the Shadow Strike with no regeneration for an Alchemist, and that 3 armor points. And not enough to actually stop the Queen of Pain from finding the kill. I think for the first time in this series, the China crowd have finally gotten a voice.
Yeah, they get a bit to cheer for here as SCC gets to play Dota. It's gonna feel nice, you know? Last game he couldn't really do much and his Lina got shut down very hard. This time around he is on the dominating side. Full level ahead now with Queen of Pain against Alchemist.
Matumba's taking
a hard time.
Matumba's taking a hell of a lot of damage on bottom. Frost Blast plus level 2 up in the overwhelming odds. And KP's happy to keep aggressive with that Frost Armor on him. GH and Matumbaman can't really turn around a fight. But I am really just wondering, how long do you keep Faith here? How long until you bring him up to the top lane and relieve this pressure which is so heavily on the anti-mage?
I think AM can fend for himself when he gets a Quelling Blade, but Moogie was forced to buy this Ring of Health first so he can even sustain. He will be losing CS for a while yet, but the Anti-Mage versus Venomancer matchup is not too bad. We could see Moogie take a page out of Burning's book and maybe get multiple points in Spell Shield, something we've seen Burning do before. Why is he considered the most influential Anti-Mage player of all time? So,
he'll need it against this toxic offlane of Mind Control, and to double the toxicity, you're running both Orb of Venom plus the Poison Sting on Mind Control.
He is going to level up Mana Break though, so still holding on to the more aggressive approach, where if Kaka comes in and has a bit more health than this, maybe they can turn it into a play. Now, top rune?
Yeah, the Curry is coming. Okay, well, Kaka, that's a little bit mean. SCCC could have, in fact, bottled up completely and then grabbed the Invis rune.
You know, it's a lot of time to wait. I think they were worried that the rune was going to get contested. Kaka also gets his Tranquils from the Courier, so he will get some health anyway, and can look to make a move. So Miracle is done with mid. He's just done, and going to retreat into that jungle. There's a
what a perfect time to have an Invis rune.
Yeah,
if Miracle's going to go jungle, Kaka can just walk up behind him. Miracle is bottling up, but he's still going to take considerable damage. It's a level 2 Pyro Strike. There is no Sandstorm, so Kaka will have to rely on just his normal damage. He can leech in the meantime. And if Miracle does the math, maybe he can work out that an SK is on top of him. Kaka. Thought he was looking for Curry for a second. He waited for He was moving off the mid lane. No warning bells flagging up for Miracle. And the Alchemist dies while farming.
SC was just waiting to get that level 6 so he could come down for the Sonic. Getting another big kill, so much better start this time around for NEWBEE.
This is the advantage though for Kuro. He's able to get rid of that Observer Ward nice and early on. So Alchemist cannot be watched as closely as he was previously. He's already gone off the other lane anyway.
So look at what Liquid have done to adjust. I don't know if this is the right approach. They've sent Matumbaman into mid because he was struggling bottom and they want the Alchemist to jungle, so this is the lane with the most experience. They want to have a core there, but this Necro is level 4 and he's going to lane against an almost level 7 Queen of Pain in an already Queen favored matchup. This is almost impossible. Any rotation in from these supports on the Dire will either kill Matumba or send him back to base. He needs to be very careful with how he plays this lane matchup, as KP is just, you know, fine with facing anyone bottom. Yeah, Legion Commander. It's a great lane no matter what.
Just sent in another Shaker. A hero would, okay, yeah, he's going to beat into Faith. Karka wants to help him out, but here comes Mookie. Burn him off. They deny him up as well. Mind Control can't even find that kill with all of his friendly Plague Wards around him. They cannot save his life.
All right, NEWBEE woke up, man. This is something else.
This feels like the shoes on the other foot. Yeah. Team Liquid were doing this to NEWBEE in game 1, and now game 2 comes around, and everything is going up NEWBEE. And KP's looking for that level 6, and that's why GH is so scared. He doesn't know when KP's going to crack that level 6, and Duel becomes available. Then the Earthshake is gone.
Now the challenge for NEWBEE in this game is to do something similar to what Liquid did in the last, which is win the lanes and then keep the pressure on. You need to keep finding kills. Since, like, losing the lanes is okay in this game to an extent because their Alchemist, if he is farming, can overtake the game. But it's going to be a while before that's a possibility, and NEWBEE will want to get into this Radiant jungle, prevent it from stacking and farming.
The smoke gang. Mind Control's dead. He has no way to get back off this top lane. Burrow Strike, a level 1 Ice Blast, and Mookie blinks forward, but the Burrow Strike holds Mind Control in position. He'll get a Gale onto 2, some damage back in return, but Mookie kill secures with the Mana Void. Team Liquid were looking for a gang to go a different direction. In fact, they were waiting on bottom, moving the Ancient Apparition down south to help out the Earthshaker in preparation for KP's attack, but it never came.
In the meantime, the Alchemist is still farming. This is the hero to look out for. I say this.
Wait, does SC kill mid? He's got Blink and Sonic Wave available, and Matumbaman's got 350 HP.
If he knew he was here, he would have right off the bat. That's a lot of
Okay, yeah, sorry. I forgot it's a Necro in mid.
First round, 17 sticks.
Oh, but still! SC didn't forget anything! He did the math, he was looking at it. It's like, yep, heal down. Nuke up.
Yep, that's that matchup for you. Queen of Pain is 3 levels above him. Matumbaman heals up to full and dies from full. So, well, what are you going to do? Miracle is still farming, and this is an Alchemist game. Alchemist is the centerpiece of the draft. He's picked last. They're trying to set up to give him a good game. He is the hero to look out for.
He still is top net worth of 4,400, 4,500, but Kaka and Faith looking to change around the balance a little bit more, rotating down towards the bottom lane. Don't have the vision on GH, the tree line making it troublesome. But Matumbaman also rotating over. He'll be a couple of points away from having that level 6, wants the ultimate, but thanks to press the attack from Kaka, from KP, Kaka can back off. And they're actually bringing SDCC down to the bottom lane. Picking up an illusion rune. Okay, no, he's just coming for the rune only. No one's defending mid. They understand Liquid have numbers somewhere. They want to see where they are first.
It's a really good point, though, that there's no bounty hunter in this game. I think that was a very clever pick in that series. Was that the lower bracket semis, I think? In which a team playing against Alchemist, it was LGD who ran the bounty hunter and Ursa. So they countered the Alchemist in lane, and then they countered him in game plan as well. And I'm not seeing the exact same thing out from the NEWBEE side. They have the Anti-Mage who will like to farm just like Alchemist will, and generally that gives Alchemist more space because that 5th hero can't really join. But they don't have like a scout, so they want to send in heroes to at least get wards out, and that's exactly what Kaka and Faith are doing right now.
They found their target. There's no level 6 on the ledge. The Courier's going to come up.
Oh my god.
And the Courier might save it. Faith's attack will follow through. The Courier lives on 12 HP. He is actually the one think that Liquid has the potential to survive on this map. SC wants to have another crack at Miracle. Chemical Rage will wear off in a second, and Kaka and Faith, well, if you can't kill Couriers, try the Alchemist. That's a good option. Burrow Strike forward. SCCC, he does have the Sonic Wave available. Another Shadow Strike. Miracle's Chemical Rage is gone. But with the armor up, they're not taking the chance here, NEWBEE. They want to keep pressuring the towers and gaining control of this map.
He's a very difficult kill now. The fact that he got to this armlet sub 10 is good and very important for Liquid. That's still the one thing they really are holding onto in this game, as their other cores are not having that great of a time. Mind Control has recovered fairly nicely, went for the phase boots in that top lane and max plague wards, but at the same time that also means his mana sustain is pretty weak. He's actually running out of mana now and has to go back toward his shrine. Well, actually, just plays a defensive plague, gets some nice info out. Miracle doesn't care. He's gonna run in.
Yeah, he's fine.
Get off my lawn, man. This is my jungle. This is the area Alchemist wants, but it's warded up very nicely.
Yep. Yeah, NEWBEE watched to the north as well as to the south, but the funny thing is that there's also...
Oh, SC? I got a haste. It's not easy being AA when there's a hasted level 10 co-op coming at you.
Well, it's a little easier when you got the Observer Ward down, so SCC thinks he can go on mid. GH in the neighborhood has Echo Slam available. Wants the creep wave to beat it, however. Now he'll run out. Fisher to start with. Echo Slam! The damage ripples out to the Queen of Pain, but the stun does not.
Just barely out of range of that Aftershock. 300 radius. I think we're talking 10s there for SC, but far enough away for that not to connect. I wonder if it would have even been a kill. Miracle didn't have concoction skill, so I don't know if a follow-up would have been enough.
You do have that plus 10 strength on SCCC.
Yeah, it's the standard co-op skill to take on level 10. It's very powerful. This hero, one of its weaknesses is the low health pool that it has, and it wants to itemize mostly items that don't give that much health in the beginning of the game. So the fact that you can skill this 10 strength talent has helped Queen of Pain a lot in terms of becoming a top-tier pick.
Kuro's looking for this Observer Ward, but again, a lot of variation in the Observer Wards coming out. This time is from NEWBEE. They're a little bit further down, so NEWBEE can still watch when Team Liquid move further east inside their own jungle. In fact, now realizing that there's only Matumbaman on the bottom, KP has Blink Dagger up. He wants to go for a quick jump, needs the vision on Matumbaman. Their Observer Wards don't exactly see that. And in fact, the Observer Ward from Liquid sees the fact that Faith and SCCC have come to the bottom lane, and Matumbaman hides behind the Tier 1 tower.
Liquid are just going to split pressure this map right now with the Venomancer top and 2 additional heroes connecting there. So probably going to see a tower trade. NEWBEE playing in the Radiant jungle. Alchemist is pretty far away from him, so they won't find him. They were probably hoping to do that.
I feel like we forgot about Mind Control. He's just been sitting up on the top lane, fighting whatever farm he possibly can. His net worth's not really reflecting it, but now getting a lot of damage into the Tier 1 tower on top. This is a good injection of money for Team Liquid. 2 Tier 1 towers have fallen. Ancient Apparition denied the mid, but Mind Control does get the last hit on the top lane. SCCC will try and even the odds by taking the bottom one.
This is in a way, the only way Liquid can play this game right now is to use this Venomancer to try to knock down towers and pressure out lanes, because their other heroes are really weak at putting pressure on structures. Alchemist needs to farm, the AA is level 5 and can't really do much. Necrophobe can shut down the lane. So, and then you have a support Shaker who has to stand in the backline. So who is actually going to prevent NEWBEE from just playing their game? It has to be Mind Control. He has to play aggressive like this. He might die once or twice, but somebody's got to do it for Miracle.
NEWBEE's coming in force. Miracle's going to keep his farm going. The Observer Ward is there. Might give a little bit of extra confidence now. SCCC, he actually has his smoke broken by Matumbaman as they go over the Observer Ward. This may be the best thing Liquid could have seen. Mind Control starting his TP. Kuro will be the sacrificial lamb, and GH as well. The Fisher creating a little bit of extra space. Starting his TP for KP as the tool available. Kaka, Burrow Strike brings the damage up, allowing KP to get the win. Plus 10 damage into the Legion Commander, but your 2 supports die for what could have been a hell of a lot worse fight for Team Liquid.
It's space. I think they reacted very well to this smoke gank from NEWBEE. They saw it coming, they dodged in the correct directions, but realistically they will lose 2 heroes there, and it's the 2 lowest net worth heroes that they lose. So good job from them dodging. I mean, they didn't really dodge the bullet, but in the sense they did. Alchemist is still farming, but so is Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage had a hard start. 14-minute Battle Fury coming in here for NEWBEE. Skipped the tread straight into BF. Wants to try to keep up with Alchemist's farm.
You know, it's a fun game too when the crowd is actually applauding a Battle Fury being picked up on the Anti-Mage. Also, Miracle
Welcome to the new age of Dota.
Just continuously farming up too. I don't know if this is like a lack of confidence or if he just wants it on him, but he bought the Radiance recipe before he bought the Sacred Relic.
It might be some reliable versus unreliable gold pick. Like 120 reliable gold.
This guy through nowhere. Scythe up on top. GH's damage. It isn't enough
Big kill.
to get the Scythe kill on the anti-mage, but the kill does happen nonetheless.
And the kill goes to GH, so he's closing in on his Blink Dagger. I think that was the best hero they could get the kill on, better than the Necro. Necro will have an easier time finding the gold he needs, but this will be, for GH, a relatively slow Blink Dagger, since most of the time when he's Shaker, he's on the pressuring team. But in this game, he couldn't really find many openings. It's his first kill, very unusual for him, 15 minutes in.
Just smart maneuvering from NEWBEE. And they keep that pressure up, at least inside the Radiant jungle. KP is farming the close camps, which the Alchemists would love to farm. They're normally the safest on the Radiant side because they need both the Tier 1 and the Tier 2 tower. In fact, the Tier 1's already gone, and SCCC is running patrol around that tower area. It's not where Liquid want to go. Even Mind Control's forced doing ancient farming / stacking, while Fate, he's standing by himself in the bottom lane, getting all the farm and experience he wants. This is just NEWBEE owning the map, and now they go for more. The Ice Blast will be nice. Kill already happens, a Miracle will fall. They need a little bit more damage into KP. Neither the Quad or the Legion will shatter to that Ice Blast.
GH was not there, that move. NEWBEE saw a moment of opportunity and just pounced on it right away. If the Shaker there with a defensive fissure, who knows how that would have gone, but NEWBEE take all the opportunities. It's a 1k gold lead with a 10k, with a 10 kill advantage, but that's Alchemist. If you're ahead against Alchemist in a 16 like this, you're doing pretty well. And NEWBEE are in a great position in this game so far.
I still wait to see just how well this Team Liquid defense can work. Because if it works nicely, if GH can finally get that Blink Dagger, like they're looking towards KP, Reaper's Scythe is available, Ice Blast is on the way, they just have to hold him there. Vision making sure that KP pressing attack, the Scythe is down, not getting the perfect chaining of stuns, but the damage output will allow them to shatter KP on the top. And while this goes on, NEWBEE pressuring that bottom Tier 2 tower. Catapult is there, but so is Mind Control, hiding behind the tower, starting his defensive Plague Wards.
Yep.
He's almost got Yule Scepter too, and this is going to come up at the same time as the Orchid. Well, the Orchid's already done on the Queen of Pain. At least it's something where Mind Control already has to counter, but jump in, he'll get to use it once. And Venomancer will fall, and the Tier 2 tower with him.
So I like this Yule's pickup quite a bit. I think it's nicely multi-purpose in this game. When you get Yules, you generally don't want to have it only for defensive or only for offensive purposes. It's nice when it feels like you can use it very well for both. Offensively, he can try to counter out the Legion in the duel. He can use it to remove the Orchid defensively against the Queen of Pain. And it gives him, obviously, a way of setting up his team that this Liquid team actually has very little at. So even using it to set up a fissure can prove to be very useful at later situations in the game. Also, nice mana regen, you know. Then Venom won't have mana problems for the rest of the game, sure.
17 minutes is how long it took for the Alchemist to pick up the Radiance.
That's really slow.
Along with the Armlet.
By Miracle standards. The 3 deaths and the shutdown of the map. He didn't get the free farm. And worth noting still is he's the only one having a good time on Liquid's team. Everyone else is clearly behind par of what they would like.
They just need space, but they're also fearful to be anywhere on the map. Mind Control just run into mid, threw out the Venomous Gale and put down the Plague Ward, but he's not staying close enough for the experience, something you want to do as a Venomancer, especially when you have that 30% experience gain. You need those levels, they're going to need those big wards up.
It's going to be a while.
It will be.
If he gets to level 25, that's the first good step, I guess.
I'm wondering if he even thinks about going, because he's already picked up the Yule Scepter, so there's a counter to the Silence, which is out. But do you go for what we've seen a couple of Venomancers do, but I think it's been mainly their first item, the Hand of Midas build for a Venomancer?
I think he needs Force Staff. They need some sort of mobility to utilize their other heroes. If they can't move their heroes around in the fight, they're going to get caught by these either multi-hero stuns or all this AoE magic burst.
This is really patient. The Blink Dagger is up on the Earthshaker. Karka is underneath a Radiant Observer Ward. They understand Team Liquid, and Matumbaman's playing it so damn cool. He's not attacking. He's waiting for them to get in range. And now, Fissure jump up with the Ice Blast. They'll punish the SK, who all he was doing was being a farm voyeur.
He died. Yeah, it was a big commitment. There was a smoke as well. So smoke kill onto support is generally not the best, but it's something for Liquid on defense, and I think there was a bit of two things. First of all, they were just being patient so they could set up the kill, but they had plenty of time to do that. They were trying to get a good read on the map. Did he have anyone behind him? Because also he said they. And they had a lot of time to think it over.
They're backing up to smoke. So they're backed up a decent ways away from any dire vision. In fact, right now, dire vision is, well, non-existent. I'm looking for an observe ward on the map for the dire, and it just doesn't exist. So NEWBEE completely blind on the map at the same time that Liquid want to fight. With Radiance and Armored up, Alchemist has Chemical Rage in 4 seconds. They want to get into battle. You've got Yule Scepter for control. You've got Blink Dagger and Echo Slam also available. Kaka, is it going to be him once again? Blinking from G8, they'll keep the chase on going. Defeating the Echo Slam, and they'll side them down. 30 seconds at the sideline for the SK, while KP hiding in the trees. Vortex trying to give vision. He'll blink further up into the trees. Mind control and some play calls to throw, but they need that little bit further to the right vision. And they don't have it.
Still got the tower there.
Wait, are they going up?
No. Aggressive move.
No.
Ill-advised.
Yeah. Anti-Mage still farming up inside the Radiant jungle. And Team Liquid, they can at least leave the pressure up so Arcos continue to farm the Dire jungle, but the teams have basically switched neutral camps.
We'll take that. Miracle created a bit more of a gap there with this play, getting that tower, getting the assist gold. Now he's going to almost have his Manta style. Well, speaking of which, Mugi has his in about 200 gold on the anti-mage, so big items coming out, but he'll be overtaking him. Oh, I guess AM will be overtaking him if they get one gank on the Alchemist. These Alchemist kills are really important right now, and they might try to use the Manta style for it. But if the game is played at this current pace and very slow, Miracle will keep building a further and bigger gap for this anti-mage to try to catch up to. He's currently sitting in bottom, as the rest of his team is posing up top. Look at GH actually just going into vision.
Yeah, that's confidence.
That was close.
That's a lot of confidence. Can't creep and Burrow strikes Kuro. It's a second TP back out to base, so GH and Kuro is escaping from the lane.
He more or less blink dodged a melee Scream of Pain, or a short-range Scream of Pain. So very close to connecting. If it connects, he's 100% dead. But it wasn't Kaka that found him, it was the Queen with any instant damage to prevent that blink. So he gets out, and again, space is the name of the game for Liquid. Just keep buying time. And for the first time in this game, we might actually see Liquid get ahead on gold in a moment.
It's definitely getting closer. It's sub 1k. The difference between Liquid as well as NEWBEE. The experience graph, however, is a very different story. Sitting around 7,000 in favor of NEWBEE, just getting more across the map. Because Anti-Mage loves this. He's still got his mana style. He's good for, not great for fights, he's just good for fights, but good for the push game too. So both Mantas on the one positions.
NEWBEE went for the attack talent on Anti-Mage. I mean, I might be wrong on this, but I think almost everyone takes the blink cooldown to have quicker be able to traverse the map and get more harm, to have more chances jumping in and out of fights. But it takes 20 attack speed, which is a fairly insignificant amount on a hero that already hits that fast. Well, I feel like that little bit of extra...
Kaka trying to get out of there. Sandstorm, Vision coming in, and he's able to fire a strike up the side. Will connect KP, breaking him free with the press, the attack. There's still a lot of tick damage on him, KP. Maybe it's time to turn and deny him, or you can just let him die.
He can't deny him.
You're right, you can't.
No Gale. They had the other two spells on him, though.
He actually hurts himself by pressing the attack.
Yeah, if the Gale was on him, then you're right. Then he might have died. Oh, there goes the bottom tower.
Oh look, Alchemist.
Can you press off Gale? Gale is a special spell, man. Gale is weird. It has like its own subset of rules for how it works. I'm not sure. I don't remember, honestly.
We can check later and learn Dota.
Yeah. You can probably press off Gale with beat up. So hard purge works.
Oh. Meanwhile, back in the farm game, Boogie's going to head north. So moving as far away from the rest of Team Liquid as possible, exactly what the Anti-Mage has to do until it feels really ready to fight. At the same time, Miracle, we talked about those early towers going down, item progression, even the Ocarine to come up next. It doesn't really feel too like Team Liquid are going to have a bad time with Miracle getting more and more farm. Almost every single hero has a very good Aghanim Scepter on the Team Liquid lineup. So the longer this game goes, they're going to love it.
Surely scale. Both Necro and Benno are great late game heroes to go right now. That's it. Benno.
The dual runs with Sonic Wave King. It's kicked down to Kuro. The Lynch Chain Crossbow bouncing down towards Matumbaman, but the epicenter from target only close enough, and Matumbaman actually gets a TP out. They look for a different target, and it's GH on the other side of the trees. 3 quick pickoffs. Legion Commander does dive for the cause, but potentially opens up Roshan.
They're thinking about it. It's so annoying.
And look at NEWBEE actually, like, I was wondering if he would do this too. Like, you talk about the attack speed. He's going to Fuser Blade as his next core item.
Is a build we see sometimes on AM. In this game, it's great strictly because of the Necropulse. You want to purge off that Ghost Shroud. It's AM's shortcut to just hard countering that hero. We're going to see the smoke here, so it breaks instant duel coming out from the Legion Commander, connecting with Queen. Kuro actually just died to collateral damage. It wasn't even the primary target, just got hit by everything on the way there. And a couple nice extra picks for NEWBEE losing their Legion.
Yep. Good picks for NEWBEE, keeping that lead, still 15-6. Of course, the kill count is that point when you understand that kills don't mean everything in Dota. Yeah, NEWBEE have the kill count 45 minutes in, but it's the gold advantage, which they are barely holding on to, and Liquid are going in for Roshan.
It's a big moment. There's no Sonic Wave and no Chain Cross. Chain Cross actually coming right now, and no Epicenter. So Liquid, with that last 3-1 fight, they 3 big ultimates were expended.
Do they just not fight then? Or is it... They have to pressure this somehow, even if it's just overwhelming odds. The Plague Wards are causing issues. There's 2 of them on the high ground. And thanks to the Observe Ward that's also playing, the Kaka's getting rid of. They see a lot. Kaka can't blink in. He cannot do that disengage, so he has to jump inside the Sandstorm. Blink will come off corner. Roshan's pretty low. Then you jump forward. It goes on the TH's Earthshaker. Agency Wall are in the hands of Miracle and Liquid. Now they have everything they need to win this fight. The Ice Button hit onto the SK. Even the side, 3 euros from NEWBEE are falling down. GH gets the Echo Slam on, but NEWBEE, now it's time to fight with their cause, or is it? Moogie backs out towards the Trine. SCCC can't kill off Kuro. That one tree blocking the vision for him. He'll blink up and away. And the denial is there from Mind Control. The Shadow Strike being on him, not going to do the work. Moogie can't get that kill. The 1 charges, giving the mana back to Matumbaman.
Was that even close?
I am not certain.
Was he close to killing him with that Mana Void, and then suddenly Matu has 1500 health? I don't think Necro is that broken.
So here's the jump. Surprising Kaka didn't even go directly into the pit. He said he tries to hold back GH.
He couldn't blink. He kept getting cancelled by these Plague Wards from the high ground from Liquid, and they are so good when you're taking Roshan. The Plague Ward advantage, they're really helping out Liquid securing this great play of the game. I think now they're kind of in the driver's seat. They have the Octarine Core and Aegis now on Miracle and could start looking to siege some buildings if they want to, or keep building up farm, getting some more key items. There's a big item currently flying out to Matumbaman. He's going to get that Linken's that he can also put on the Alchemist if he wants to. But Liquid, like you said, maybe they don't even have to try to win with this Alchemist so fast. Like some games it feels like, okay, if Alch doesn't win, eventually the enemy team will overtake him with good late game carries, but not so sure in this one. So many good Axe heroes. All of the Liquid lineup uses Axe. The Shaker one is kind of funny more than anything, but the other heroes, it's very powerful on.
Also to note too, maybe the mindset and tempo change up. Matumbaman originally even bought the entire Dagon and then sold it to then move back into the Linken's field. So they understand you need to survive early on. They make life difficult for NEWBEE to get initiations. That's what the Linken Sphere is capable of doing.
And Anti-Mage did this.
Yep.
So
Anti-Mage went in for the Linken Sphere. Decided to go that have the regeneration over having something more like the Aghanim Scepter we've seen on Anti-Mages, which has both the Linkens and the Lotus Orb effect tied into it.
I actually think Axe would have been really nice this game because of the 2 spells he can reflect being really high impact. Reflecting the Scythe or reflecting the Concoction would have both been really good. Like else he would be reflecting the both feet. That's what's so nice. Threaten the AA, force him to move away. Realistically, AA will not really be casting it on him, so, you know, I think most of the time I'm a fan of Linken's pickup just because the stats are better for gold, but in this game, the Axe could have
Team Liquid are going to form up on bottom lane, 5 heroes together, bearing down the tier 2 tower. And NEWBEE are in no position to fight this. They're still trying to push out the side lanes. Moogie and Kaka taking care of the top, so it will be a straight tier 2 tower with the Octarine Core onto Miracle. Lower cooldowns, wonderful regeneration, not just from the chemical raid, but also from a magical burn. He's looking at Assault Cuirass next, and he may even be looking at the tier 3 tower next. They're coming in now. Moogie, he has the TP ready. Kaka ready to the TP back as well. Blink here, finds the Fire Strike. Looking at the Alchemist. Magic Dodge was attended. But while that Agency Mortal is on the Alchemist, Miracle will stand just chipping away at the tier 3 tower. Oh, Linken Sphere actually triggered off the back of the duel. The Scythe is the return punishment for KP's misdemeanor.
Oh, he didn't see that Matumbaman has the Linkens. That's such a big mistake. no buyback one. And this is going to be racked over. They can't kill this Alchemist twice with these heroes now.
Yeah, and just looking at it,
mail.
Kaka needs to bring in the epicenter. They need the damage. Here comes the epicenter from Kaka. Away from the wall. He's able to get the forest right here. Necro low. The Sonic Wave from killing more. Where is this damage? However, the Echo's there from GH. Holding down the end image. Boogie's in trouble. The blink up and the Plague Mods were there. Kuro's the man that shatters him out. Well, that Ice Blast connects. There's just too much damage being done. You still have the agency portal there. As now, Miracle cancels himself, but GH, the silence. SDCC controls him perfectly. Now the agency mortal is going to burn. Can they hold him there? Miracle back into the chemical rage. Manta is up, beating into the range rank. Turns attention over towards Boogie. He's already radiant, burning down the rest of the NEWBEE heroes. All he has to do is stand there and he's winning the game. Bringing down the creep wave now into the melee racks. Frost Armor is making this difficult, but not impossible. Team Liquid, where's that Burrow strike? Coming in from Kaka. SDCC is back. He has that orphan available. He waited for the mana staff, but the damage is done. Miracle claims the melee ranks. They need something in return. The Lincoln Sphere triggers once again. Is Boogie moving forward? KP has the duel available. Looking for the target. Miracle is low. Can he get the duel off? Look for a different target. Fire control over the side, and they will find this pickoff. SC and Boogie together. KP still wants the bloody duel, but what can he get? Mind control. There's your duel. Victory comes in. The side doesn't do enough. Matumbaman looking for another opening. He just walks around inside the shroud. They'll all blink away. NEWBEE, this has been a very expensive defense, and they still lost their bottom lane of racks.
Yeah, who did they buy back? Anti-Mage only, I think?
It was Anti-Mage, Lich, and Sand King. They had three buybacks from
I could not keep track of that. I was just laughing because Miracle was in the middle of everything. Lich is just attacking him for like 20 damage and dying to the Radiance and Acid Spray, and then Miracle in the middle of the fight. He has the presence of mind to just say Team Chat. Why is being hit by 3? Oh man. Can you care any less than that, man?
It's a positive mood in the Team Liquid camp. We'll have a quick look at the fight once more. That's the critical moment. The Lincoln's trigger. Matumbaman is safe, and the Legion Commander just cannot get what she wanted.
So full lane of racks, 3 buybacks, and all they lost was Alchemist, Veno, and was that it? Did they even get any additional kills than that? Not sure.
That's a thing.
That's fun. Oh wait, we're playing potential.
There is a decent amount. A lot at stake, especially if Liquid can take this game being 2 games up in the grand final. That is a horrible tunnel that NEWBEE will have to look down. The one when they walk off the stage knowing they're one loss away from losing that crown that all these players want so badly.
Yeah, NEWBEE's early game went very well this time as well. That's what they've got to be thinking about moving further. Win or lose this game, the early game went well, and right now it's not looking good. So again, what adjustments do you make at this point? So the next one, do you try to, I think they will have pick priority in the next game, so maybe was it that last pick from Liquid that was a really big problem, that they could get this Alchemist? Could they have banned something different?
GH, there's so many kicks done on the Kaka. Force not going to push him up. SCCC tries to create space for the Shiva's gun, and Miracle's going to set himself through the Lincoln's protection.
Yep.
That Dagon is finally on. That Dagon is finally on top of it.
Level 1. So a decent amount of burst with the Veil. And here we go again. So Liquid are not hesitating at all to put the pressure on.
This time there won't be the agency portal, but he does have an assault cuirass. Blink fire is right. And KP, the duel is out. The duel is going to bounce around. Mike's progress is down, but comes back up again. The side. KP can't survive. He'll lose the duel. Miracle will come in with a plus 14 damage. Looking to try and end this. Matumbaman with a double kill. And Miracle remembers objective-based gaming. Buyback is there from SCCC, but losing 2 cores already. One of them forced to buy back on NEWBEE is already a huge victory for Team Liquid, but they're not done yet.
They're going to wait for Chemical Rage and push for the high ground again, knowing that key cooldowns are now not available. There's no chain cross, no blink duel. And he's going to go in again.
He's going to try and run the back line. Blink Burrow strike, holding Miracle into position. Venomans are almost down to the point. Boogie couldn't get him off down. The exit from GH will control him, and this will be a huge kill if they can claim it. Anti-Mage is falling. Anti-Mage is down for 2 minutes. They've lost the numbers. There isn't enough defense here from NEWBEE without the enemies that they'd be caught. They just don't have the damage, and GG, 34 minutes, Team Liquid, more than dominating, ripping apart NEWBEE at the seams in Game 2.
It's been so beautiful to watch how Liquid
because
And
like,
it
they
seems
can
like these other teams play the tournament fail in comparison with what Euro teams they have to pull out like this.
Play, and not just play, he's really bloody good at that.
Are now one game away from the first place at the International 7. To talk about that last match, we got Ake, Fly, and No Tail from OG. Gentlemen, welcome. I mean, right away, Fly. What a comeback.
Yeah, that was an insane game. You know, they start out with all these kills, NEWBEE is doing great, and then Liquid just is composed. They know they have this Alchemist, which, you know, is a great hero, and then they just bring it all back. You know, they realize they can't fight them. They play so good.
And it wasn't even like a big moment where Team Liquid suddenly turned the tides. It seemed like just slow, gradual, grinding Miracle just continuing to get bigger and bigger.
They managed to get a couple of kills with Necrophos. That was like very key for them. They were a bit behind, I think, because the Alchemist wasn't that far ahead as he maybe wanted to. But with like these kills, they managed to actually save him some time to farm more.
Yeah. I mean, No Tail, talk to me about what you think were the big moves that Necrophos were doing that were letting them get back in the game.
I think there were a lot of good moves, like a lot of smaller good moves that kept happening. Like we just saw a couple Necro reprecise ultimates, and they just kept coming. NEWBEE, they weren't really responding to what Liquid was doing to them. Like Alchemist is farming, that's one thing. You're trying to trade it for anti-mage farm, but if Liquid keeps getting these kills, like casual kills, and if it's on an anti-mage, it's really big. Like these things spiral the game out of control. And then there was also the Roche fight where KP just dies. And this is also like a very big opening for any Alc strat. It's like when you get the Roche kill and get an Aegis.
Yeah, and I mean, talked a little bit about when we had Sumail and Crit up here that SCCC really wants to be able to snowball, to have that actually very good mid-game opening, and that's, excuse me, mid-lane opening. And that's exactly what he got, but it still wound up not being enough. Now, Purge, I want you to talk to us a little bit about that early lane dominance, how TL was able to come back from it.
Yeah, it really seemed like NEWBEE had the upper hand consistently through all of the early ganks, yet they still kept the gold advantage kind of similar. A lot of that was probably Alchemist, but like No Tail pointed out, some of those really crucial kills are really important, and most of these most of this game was about blink daggers, really. Killing Legion Commander when he has a blink dagger and you don't is very difficult, because that means you have to damage him before he uses blink. Otherwise, he's going to blink away as he sees you approaching. So the way that Liquid made all these ganks happen are really interesting. Fissure first to set up the Ice Blast. They used Reaper's Sight to give it enough stun duration so that GH could just walk in to do enough, and that gets him a kill on KP. They did something very similar versus AM. Kind of similar gank here. They need to stun him from ranged with Fissure, use Reaper's Sight to buy time for GH to walk in for stun duration, then he uses everything he's got to guarantee kills. And if they keep killing big cores on the enemy team, that's going to get them a lot of gold back into the game. And finally, the other place that Blink Dagger was really important was around the Roche fight. If you put Venomancer wards all over the area, every time that they attack somebody like Legion Commander, he can't use his Blink Dagger. And because of that, it forces NEWBEE to go on a bad target, such as like Earthshaker. And by the time KP finally gets in there, Aegis is dead, Miracle can basically just run at his opponents, and they get a big advantage. So this was about the initiators on NEWBEE not being able to initiate or escape in the early mid-game, and finally the Liquid just got way too far ahead.
That's a really great, subtle point you bring up about the Reaper side, that so often people just try to use it as the big damage to get the extended respawn duration. But there were so many times in that opening game when Earthshaker couldn't follow up the Fissure on Queen of Pain in mid because of the time it takes to walk from the stun location to Queen of Pain. And having Reaper's Side there to just provide that little extra second or two was instrumental. And with that, I mean, I don't even feel like it was a bad draft necessarily for NEWBEE.
I think NEWBEE is a bit shaky right now because they actually had a super good early game. They got a draft they really wanted. They got this early mid-game dominance, and then they weren't even able to close out the game.
I mean, I think I wouldn't be very happy if I was NEWBEE looking at that draft, because even though you're so ahead, it actually takes very small slip-ups and you're actually losing that game completely. Because what happens is you actually can't fight these heroes if you look at it. They have LC, Queen, AM cores. These cores don't really do much together. They're good at maybe splitting the map, getting like an early advantage, but if you're not going to keep snowballing, you're going to lose the game. So every small pickup they got, like Liquid with these clutch plays, which are honestly very clutch, these moves are extremely hard to execute and even think about in the game. Like, we're going to gank this AM by starting with Reaper Scythe. This is like, this is some TI final stuff, you know? This is actually like really well done by them. And what happens is, like, I'm very impressed by Liquid because they just realize their timing and they're not afraid to use it. So even though they're behind, they're still going for these clutch plays. And when they get them, this Alc gets another minute to farm over AM, and they go for this Roche, and they're really playing like amazingly well.
I think this game in particular, like, it shows the Anti-Mage Alchemist matchup pretty well. Like, Anti-Mage can be winning the game up until a certain point. If Alc ever gets the lead, it looks really hard. There's a lot of things that go in favor of Alc in this matchup. One is that he starts farming earlier, like he starts getting the GPM much earlier, and then he has an earlier timing than AM. When AM has a Battle Fury, you might have Radiant's Armlet. Like, this might happen, and if that happens, it's pretty easy to force fights and use this Alchemist like to punish this Anti-Mage pick.
So, I mean, if you were looking at NEWBEE in that game, do you think they needed to be more aggressive, try to dive in on Alchemist more frequently?
I think it's hard to say. It's really hard to say what the best play for NEWBEE is because they did a lot of right things. SCC, he was definitely doing really well.
He was incredible in the opening.
Like, overall, both teams played well, but there's this one thing that I didn't like for NEWBEE is that they just kept getting picked off and never went for a move or made a move right after the pickoff was happening, or like, there's just no response there. They need to find some way to like open their own draft to start killing heroes.
So, I mean, we've talked so much about how difficult it is to draft against Team Liquid and that they've had a lot of strength in the drafts. Do you think that NEWBEE have finally found some footing as it relates to drafting in the series, or do you still think they're struggling there?
I think that they might try to go for something else than this, maybe a bit more team fight to be able to pressure the towers earlier, because they, like as we said, they actually had quite a good early game, but it didn't turn out well.
Yeah, I think it's pretty difficult right now if you look at it. You look at Liquid and you see all these heroes, Necrophos, Shaker, Coddle, Io, Huskar, Alchemist, like Broodmother, it keeps coming. Like, how do you actually deal with this? You have to choose what hero you want to play with, and you have to choose your poison, actually.
I mean, you're going to have to choose it fast if you are NEWBEE. You can see both teams are heading back out onto the stage. It has been minutes from the loss where NEWBEE had a 10-0 lead at the start of the game. They had knocked down all 3 towers, all 3 tier 1s. And Team Liquid, without any exceptional single moment, gradually clawed their way back into the game. And I think you said it best, Fly. Who do you ban? They have like 15 heroes that they've been playing successfully.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing they should focus on, I think, for NEWBEE right now is to just reset emotionally. Like, the first game, they got knocked to the ground by Liquid, and the second game, like, they fought Liquid, they threw a few punches, but then in the end, like, Liquid just got back in the game, and now it's the third game.
Yeah, and it could be the final game. This could be the last game of TI7 with Team Liquid sweeping 3-0, but NEWBEE still has the chance. They still can win this game, and they'll have to win 3 more if they want the championship after that before we go into the game. Since it could be the last, let's check in with Slacks in the arena.
Hello, everybody. We are here with some NEWBEE fans. Boys! Yeah! NEWBEE needs some help. We don't want to see the 3-0, so I need your help. We have to learn some words to be able to cheer these guys on. What should we yell out there?
I would say, Jayo NEWBEE!
Jayo NEWBEE! What does that mean?
NEWBEE, let's do it!
NEWBEE, Jayo NEWBEE! I believe that means, like, put the fire on it. Give them the fire. All right. What do you think we should yell out? Please educate us.
让2追3.
Oh, 我听得懂. And what does that mean?
让2追3.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
It means give them the first 2 games and we'll win the rest 3.
Oh, give them the first 2. Ah! All right, hold on. I need to practice that again.
让2追3.
让2追3. All right, NEWBEE. We're not going to get 3-0 today, right, boys? Let's give it up one more time. That is what I'm talking about. They are not ready to go quietly into that night. 我听得懂. That means I understand. Back to you, boys.
Thank you, Slacks. Sincerely, thank you. That was awesome.
Like Chinese is on point.
Oh, God, that is incredible. He learns so fast.
Right? I think we found ourselves a new manager, Tal.
Yeah, we'll bring him on to China with us.
You know, I got to ask, how frequently does a team fall 0-2 in the finals and sweep back 3-2?
It's happened, but not too many times. Like usually maybe NEWBEE, like the team wins one game now and then the better team wins the next one, but...
Yeah, I think this is like a rare moment, a rare opportunity for any team. You encounter this hill that you have to climb. You have no room to fall, like 3-0. That's the only way you're going to win from now on. And it has to be a special night for all the players to, you know, have that in them to like come back from this.
I mean, there is a way to look at it, right? You're going to have to win 3 games no matter what. And they still have to win 3 games. When you go into the series, you have to win 3 games to win the whole thing. So nothing changed actually, right? But it's hard to put that into like in the mental state that you are in right now and to think about it that way, but that's what we would do.
Yeah. I mean, it seems easy to get demoralized if you're NEWBEE.
At the same time, if like NEWBEE actually wins this game and they win the next one as well, then like it's
then it's flipped on the other hand. Then
the fire is coming.
Yeah.
So it can go like both ways. I think they're gonna just try to do their best and reset their emotions and not try to think too much about it.
I hope they all have the Gyro chat wheel.
Yeah. I think it is good to do something in the beginning to kind of get the fire going. So whatever it is, smoke level 1, catch them, kill them on runes, just do something, and then it helps you get into the game like fast instead of just starting in a regular game, playing a regular game of Dota again. Just do something that gives you a kickstart, because that's what you need right now.
Yeah, like contesting the first bounty rune.
Yeah, anything. Like they can think of any plan right now. There are infinite possibilities you can do at level 1, right? So just choose one, go with it, and get that fire going.
Yeah, the worst thing I think they can do is accept a passive approach. I think that is that's rough when you're in this state, that you keep thinking about cutting your losses. Like, this is how you're going to lose half your region at a bounty rune, because nobody's willing to make any play, counter play. They're taking 3 runes for free now. Like, I agree. They have to be in the aggressive.
Liquid did that like one of the games, I think, if it was like yesterday, when they smoked at the level 1 and just like killed mid straight away, and just like
I mean, now it's a new game. Like, nobody did that to you in the last 100 games, and now it's a new game.
Yeah. I mean, is there any mental risk on Team Liquid's part that they start relaxing when they're up 2-0? That they can start maybe relaxing is the wrong word, but you know, saying, hey, we have a lead, we don't need to take any risks here, let's just play it safe. Do you expect anything like that to happen from them?
I mean, honestly, there's something that happens sometimes when you kind of see the win already, and you might rush things actually, and this could happen. It also happened to us before when we were playing and we were in 2-0, and we're like, we see the victory, it's like so close, I want to grasp it, and then you might start slipping up and making mistakes you normally wouldn't, rushing things or being too afraid or playing risk-free. But so it is something to look out for, you know. They might see it already and overthink it, so.
Well, this could be the final game of TI. NEWBEE are down 0-2. Team Liquid has made an extraordinary run, winning 6 consecutive series to get here. And I really would not be surprised to see a 3-0 from Team Liquid. So if you're a Liquid fan, if you're a NEWBEE fan, let me hear you make some noise. It's time for Game 3 of the Grand Final.
NEWBEE versus Team Liquid. Grand Finals Game 3.
What will NEWBEE bring to this draft? We've seen Team Liquid be so impossible to draft against. And once again, it's Nature's Prophet, Io, banned from NEWBEE, straight up picking into Earthshaker.
They actually steal the Venomancer this time, going to the Rasta as well, so it's quite a different approach from the other games.
Yeah, I see.
I like it. Is the Coddle coming though? The Coddle's out.
They tried the Call and Shaker the other game, which didn't really work out for them when Mind Control was playing the Shaker, so they might still do it, I guess, but...
Yeah, I think Liquid's momentum that they managed to build up this tournament pretty much allows them to do whatever they feel like. I don't think it's as easy to call. Like, they're not going to go back to some comfort picks. I mean, they can go for the Coddle, but they might be more likely... Like, I think they're very likely thinking about a lot of heroes right now. I think they feel so confident. They're throwing out all their ideas. Like, right now, they might be too hungry for the win, but they're definitely like looking at everything they can do, or a lot of things that they can do.
Yeah, they have a lot of choices here. I mean, they choose the hero that's going to set them up for the whole strategy right now. It could be anything, really.
Yeah,
The Venomancer is a quite good pick against Shaker though, to be able to cancel his daggers throughout the whole game with Venom wards.
The double ward strat is also something.
Yeah,
the more wards you had, the more pressure.
wards you have.
It is. I mean, it's a concept. It's like when you have so much in front of you, you can't deal with it.
So you need Pugna, and then you have a Tombstone.
Yes.
Kind of like add. It's not exactly ward, right?
It's a big ward.
It's
a thick ward.
It's kind of interesting to see NEWBEE saying, well, you seem to have a good sense of what heroes to pick. Let's go ahead and pick some of those. Captain Kuroki trying to guide Team NEWBEE.
Liquid's taking a sweet time, though.
It's like, how do we counter Venomancer?
Yeah. I mean, Venom is an interesting hero. All right, let's see what we got here. Lich, all right.
Very non-committal.
So, yeah, that keeps things open in a lot of ways. It gives them a lot of laning possibilities. Lich Shaker is very good together.
I think they're thinking Lich Armor a lot for the tower, too.
Right, that's something as well.
I think they want to get Morph as well, because Morph is one of the heroes that are very good against Venomancer, to be able to kill the Venowards, and as well as to get away from him.
Maybe they wouldn't feel like banning a newbie, that they have a hex. I know most of the Chinese, they love having their hexes against Morphs. Just for the kit of the hero itself and all these elusive heroes. But no, definitely, I see possibilities.
It's so many years. Although there are so many possibilities for it's unlikely they will so many years. Although there's something to look at, it's Kura playing Alka still out there, so it's unlikely they will dazzle Oracle into Huskar, so that's something you have to consider. Alka still out there.
I've seen the GH Dazzle. Was that successor? Okay, so they might be thinking about. I think I've seen it on these joggers. Patrol Warlords again. They might be thinking about on these joggers.
It's also
Patrol Warlords again. They've been.
I think it was 2 games.
Okay, well, really? 2 games of Axe?
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't manage to catch this.
5 seconds remaining.
There's also a problem for Lich. Even though the armor is very good for the towers against Rasta and Venom, he also doesn't enjoy being pushed over by these heroes too early.
Alchemist gets out right away.
Tide ban. Okay, Liquid. I mean, they kind of know what they want already. You can tell by the way they're banning. Like, they have this one thing in mind that they haven't stopped. I don't really like the Alk ban necessarily, because I do think they have a fast lineup that could have played against it, and I mean, it does show fear, but more importantly, I think this Axe ban doesn't suggest Alk. Like, this Axe ban suggests something else. Alk is Brood maybe.
Brood.
It opens up, like both Tide and Axe are very good against Brood, and now like, they actually let Brood through because they have to ban this Morph and
maybe they're thinking about it?
Yeah, and now they kind of prepare for it with the Sanking to be able to kill the Spirings.
So do you think this is going to be Rookie, Venom, or?
I'm gonna say they're keeping it open, and it's gonna be probably SEC or Movie playing that. And I think this is just gonna be dual support. I mean, Kaka obviously amazing Sanking. I wouldn't be surprised. But it does look like they're setting up for a Brood Mother. Seeing these 2 heroes, they actually suffer a lot. Sanking is a little better, of course, but it would give them such a laning possibility that it would be very hard for NEWBEE to answer.
I do think it might be hard to pick the Brood on 3rd pick, though.
No.
I think you want to wait one more. As Liquid, they like to run this Brood against just a really good mid. That's if the supports are fine against Brood, I think they will still pick it. I've seen what they do with this Brood Mother mid to these poor invokers. Like it's
scary.
It's miserable.
It's a very good way to make the opponents like have to trade the lanes into bad lanes, like invokers safe lane or something that you really don't want to have.
This is where mind control will shine.
We've seen Huskar picked up a lot by Team Liquid. Do you think there's any possibility of an Oracle Huskar setup?
Definitely, but like Tal said, it's lucky it's Kurovic.
Yeah. Dark's here.
So this is going to be GH Shaker. Although
in theory, they could play the mid Shaker or Miracle. So I mean, Dark's here, yeah, that's good. It's good on the lane against Venom. I mean, overall, it gives them a lot of teamfight possibilities. Imagine this back Shaker into Lich ulti.
Liquid is kind of changing their playstyle right now. If we look at the other games, when Mind Control has been playing Prophet, and can't remember what they did play in the last game.
What was it for now? Venom?
Yeah,
Venom, yeah.
Yeah, Venom, like, these heroes like, actually makes a lot of space. Darkseer does it in a way because he pushes in lanes, but he's more team fight oriented than
teamfight oriented, and there's a thing, people can say that Venom can lane against Darkseer because he can without losing power and maybe even bully Darkseer a little bit, but I think Liquid, they like playing around this surge and this team fight that comes with it. That particularly counters Venom and even Hex.
Yeah, and not to mention also he's a very good pipe and mech builder, which does a lot of annoying combos for Venomancer. I like it a lot though. I think they have a good idea going into this draft. Liquid, like they have a lot of possibilities.
I see these heroes with Iron Shell, Surge, Snakes, like these heroes are running away for a long time, you know, and this creates openings for all these Shakers and Liches. Oh, that's a good pick, I think. Oh, I like that pick a lot.
Talk to me about it. What is it that's so great about Centaur War Runner?
So we were just talking about how they might be running in with some Nakes, like, or I just mentioned, this ultimate matches your movement speed through a Surge, you know, so you're equally like running around the fight, and then you have another chance to take the fight the way you want it.
And this sort of implies that Shadow Shaman is going to be position 5, Sand 4. The Centaur likely to be the off lane, and it appears Venomancer is probably going to be mid or safe lane.
I think that's what they're keeping open, I imagine. I don't think they want to run some safety in Centaur. Game 3 TF final.
Is there some anti-mage possibilities here? I think it's a pretty good game. Very
Looking historically, Team Liquid likes to run Darkseer with super hard carry, do a lot of harm.
Yeah, I mean, they usually run the core with, I mean, they run Darkseer with Stardar, but Shaker might just fulfill that role instead. I could see it.
I mean, okay, so they just take another one, they're heroes.
Yeah, I mean, this just, it's basically sets them up for a great laning phase, because Lich actually has the freedom to do whatever he wants here. He doesn't have to go in the Darkseer lane, he doesn't actually have to go in the Necro lane. So what they can do is actually they can tri-lane middle against whatever SEC is going to be playing, whether it's Ven or it's some other hero.
They're going to use all their reserve time with this ban.
Yeah.
They're banning the Miracle hero on last.
That's probably going to be somewhat of a hard carry, or active hero at least.
Yeah, are we thinking something like Alchemist again, or Anti-Mage for Team Liquid?
I mean, Alch's out. There's the Anti-Mage.
Oh, of course, yes, that was
I don't necessarily think Anti-Mage enjoys playing against Centaur, like on the lane especially, and I do think
Liquid's turn to ban.
They ban it anyways. Not much point.
What about the Troll? Is it bad?
Yeah, I like Troll for Liquid, because if you look at it, what they're missing right now is a way to take objectives, and Troll would give them that, like someone to kill towers, Roche, whatever, because you need that in the game. And meanwhile, for NEWBEE, you have Venom and Rasta, so you have everything covered, right?
Yeah, what do you think is actually missing for NEWBEE? What do they want to fill in from a powerful last pick?
Well, they have the last pick, right? So they get to see, and we could assume, I guess, there's going to be some Troll-like hero. I think it's likely there's some carry.
I can see the Troll.
They're gonna let win the game, and he needs to be able to take Roche.
Invoker is the ban.
Might suggest the Necro's mid. Like, Necro's not the best hero against Invoker, but it is a pretty good matchup for Necro. Maybe they're looking for a mid hero for me.
I like the Necro Centaur a lot. I think
they're definitely looking at that.
I mean, the Troll has many good matchups middle, so I don't think they were too worried if they pick it, but we'll see what they do here.
5 seconds remaining.
Team Liquid only has 1 second of reserve time.
NEWBEE's turn to pick.
Juggernaut, right?
Oh, I like it.
That's a similar type of role that he fulfills, where he hits towers, he can carry, he gives you the objectives. It's another way to team fight, and it can be very good against Venomancer as well. The sustain that they have now between Darkseer, Necro, and Jugger actually completely destroys what Venomancer wants to do in the game.
Do you think that Jugger is going to be mid or safe?
That's the thing. I think they like it because the option's open. They can decide on this pick, so NEWBEE has an even harder time picking.
And I guess both Jugger and Necrophos are quite good against the Centaur on the lane, right? Jugger can kill him with the spin with some help, and Necrophos can sustain a lot.
I will say Centaur can be good against Jugger. It depends who gets the help. But if they have this Lich Jugger against Centaur, then Centaur is going to be very sad.
So really dominant Centaur with early hood counters what Jugger wants to do in this lane. But I think it's Jugger favored overall.
All right, they're gonna need some game-winning hero from NEWBEE. I mean, they have like pretty much everything covered. They have, you know, some decent team fights, some way to take towers, objectives, stuns, blah blah blah. But then you need a hero that actually wins you the game.
But you also have to think, like, I don't think you can be happy with some poke-style kind of hero. We talked about their sustain. I see so much sustain. I think they need to close the gap with these stuns and like take the fight to them, like force them to fight them back.
I mean, at this point, you feel like in some of these hard carries that NEWBEE banned, maybe they wish they had available in the pool still.
That's of course another route if you have a really hard carry that.
I think they want to pick a mean hero like Nino or
Shadow Fiend maybe. Alright, the Prophet.
Yeah, Prophet for NEWBEE.
Alright.
And it looks like Miracle will be running the Juggernaut, Matumbaman on the Necrophos, but we're still not sure what the lanes are going to pan out to be.
Neither is NEWBEE.
And they're going to need a lot of help in this game. NEWBEE currently down 0-2. If you are a Chinese fan, make some noise. If you're a NEWBEE fan, make some noise. NEWBEE needs it. Casters, take it away for what could be the final game of TI7.
Liquid are literally drowning in Sustained at the moment, coming into game 3, already 2 games up against NEWBEE. NEWBEE maybe with a little bit more of a fast-paced lineup, maybe some more energy behind them, had a good conversation between game 2 and game 3. Can they force a 4th?
Yeah, I think so. I think this lineup from NEWBEE, I said in the last game they were making the right adjustments. I think now they've taken it even another step in the right direction, even further. Now they've forced mind control off at Benno and the Nature's Prophet. The bans, again, I pretty much agree with what NEWBEE were doing in the first phase. And now their approach is, okay, last game we had the lanes, but we didn't push fast enough. So now we're going to have the lanes and the push this time. So they have Benno, Shaman, and Death Prophet to push out, and some pretty strong laners to go with it. Liquid's draft is a little bit different for them. The Darkseer they haven't had the most success with, and this Juggernaut pick is pretty uncommon at this main event, so...
Do you actually worry with the hero pickups they have? Like, we're not going to say Matumbaman's Necro's a really bad pickup for them, but a lot of it takes a lot of farm to get online. Like, how long do you take before you get the Rod of Atos? How long until you get the mech on the Darkseer? How long until Juggernaut has to sustain outside of Denty's refusal? All these items, and you start to beg the question, how long will this take? And then you're up against a team that can add pressure with Plague Lords all the time. They have engage and disengage through the Centaur Stampede, Mass Serpent Wards, Exorcism, all these abilities to start lacquering on top for NEWBEE. Can they force the issue before Liquid is ready?
I think so. If the lanes go well for NEWBEE in this game, they have the tools to very quickly snowball this game out of control. Getting the Roshan, getting towers, plenty of ways of doing it. I think for Liquid it's very crucial that they get to use the Ion Shell on Juggernaut in the earlier stages of the game for fights, because they, apart from that, they don't have that much they're bringing to the table. They have the Lich and Shaker, who are both in each their ways fairly slow build-up supports. Lich wins a lane, but still takes some time. Shaker as a roamer is pretty lackluster with specific heroes. I don't think he has that great synergy here. He's with a Darkseer that's like okay. The Necrophos mid he can't necessarily kill with, and then the Juggernaut is possible, but difficult, right? So I'm looking for Liquid's lineup to struggle to find kills early, and if NEWBEE can capitalize on that, finding their own and this time push and not face an Alchemist late in the draft, this time they can actually convert it into a win. I think this is NEWBEE's best draft for the finals. If they can't win this game, then Liquid's just hands down the better team today, like by quite a lot.
They do have the advantage in the laning phase of Vision while supporting it to get that early game you're talking about, avoiding the kills, the rotations of GH being effective. The 2 Observer Wards from NEWBEE focus on that hillside to the south of the bottom rune, and the other one smack bang in the middle lane. So Vision is covering the south as well as the mid. Earthshaker, he wants to rotate up towards top lane and try and kill off the Centaur. Warrunner, good luck, it's going to take you some time to do it. So they're feeling very secure in that lane. In fact, they're even going to run a double lane. Karka as well as KP are together, so they have a double stun lineup, which should be very, very effective against Miracle. They just have to keep Miracle away from the lanes, and Karka already doing it. Burrow Strike, Wolf Stomp, they're dropping the Juggernaut down to 1/3 of his life. If Karka can get this body block up as well, Miracle trying to create a little bit of space. NEWBEE, Miracle has to be forced into the spin. You got a secondary Burrow Strike, they can go into the town, but they won't do it. Healing Sound plus Tango being burnt by Miracle. They'll stay safe under the tier 1.
Good initial pressure from NEWBEE on this lane.
Oh, wait, there you go.
Trying to connect
the fissure was raised, but not thrown.
There's no kill potential in this mid lane. SCC can die to these 2 heroes. There is absolutely no way unless he completely screws up somehow. So GH is just trying to do whatever little he can to just pressure SC and force him to use some regen. That fissure did pretty much nothing. And SC is having a good time here, forcing Matumbaman under his tower with this double wave. And now GH is like, okay, not really happening in mid. I'm going to move toward top. Maybe there's an opportunity here. Good fissure.
With the frostbite and the last attack from Kuro, flying over the rock wall. First blood spilled. Very, very aggressive.
And this is what I'm praising GH for so much. It's that game sense, you know, like he goes mid, just shows himself. NEWBEE are like, okay, Shaker's mid. He vanishes from mid, immediately goes for this play that is, the way I see it, his only kill on the map is this exact hero with this exact ally. It's very specific subset of things that need to happen, and Liquid set it up beautifully and get themselves first blood on the Lich. So Kuro getting some fast boots out. He'll have plenty of money to take care of her as well. It's another fissure mid with GH. Has the arc. Might as well get a little bit of with that.
He actually holds the
crossing
creep.
for bounty runes.
He holds the creep way back far enough that Matumbaman doesn't even have it come on. Okay, now I'll come onto the tower, but that's a double wave for Death Prophet to try and farm up, which is a nice injection of CS and experience into him, unless GH wants to do something about it. But the Observer Ward from NEWBEE does scout it out, so even if this vision does fly, you can see SCCC understands just how tanky he is and just how much of a hard time NEWBEE will have to, Liquid will have to kill him.
GH at the same time, recognizing that the bounty runes cannot have been picked up because all of NEWBEE's heroes have been showing, so he goes and takes the enemy bounty rune first. Now he can still go back toward his own. He has a full minute to do that. It's just going to fissure off Faith and be really annoying. Mind Control actually coming in here with a level 2 Ion Shell. Faith, there is a crevice to get through.
He just needs a little bit more movement speed.
He's going to be fine.
330 versus the 295. Good for a Shaman to have those early boots to keep the run going. Still want to keep my eyes pretty closely on mid. I know it's mainly because we've had the Earthshaker rotating around, but this is the time when Kaka finally moves off the top line. It is daytime, which makes it difficult for him to close the distance. There is no dire Observer Ward watching this mid lane. The GH is back. Faith is here as well. Everyone's prepping, apart from Kaka, who's just having a one-on-one battle with Kuro. But GH has to be careful of where he is. Faith comes up, the Observer Ward is there. Knows what he's up against, and everyone's just going to run away. But this is a lot better start for NEWBEE when you look over it. Like, yeah, okay, you gave away first blood, but Mugi's getting really good farm. SCCC's getting really good farm in the mid lane. KP's finding experience on the off lane, so that Stampede arriving at an earlier time is great for NEWBEE to disengage from Team Liquid's aggression.
He's getting good CS as well on the Centaur. I think this hero can fall flat a lot of the time. I think it's really weak without any items. Like, there's a lot of other options this patch that deal better with being put under pressure, but Centaur really needs like that Blink Dagger to start having an impact, and then compare it over to the Darkseer, where sure, if you don't have the mech, maybe it's not the best hero, but you can at least utilize your team. That Ion Shell, all Centaur really offers is the standard. It's nice, but it's an ultimate, so you know, then you're kind of a walking ulti at that point almost. It's a bit hard to get as much out of your hero. So it's very good news for NEWBEE that all three of their cores are getting good farm.
Kuro's trying to get that aggressive Observer and Sentry Ward down behind KP. Either that, they run in towards the mid. Fade able to reveal like Kuro and GH, both Frost Blast and the Fissure being committed. Fading negligible damage as Matumbaman wants to go underneath the tower. Kuro does put the Observer Ward down. A quick ping came out from Shaman saying that he's around here.
He's trying to see if he can get eyes on Kuro and see that he used the ward, but he might just assume that was the case. See, there's no
He'll get vision now. He's walking underneath an Observer Ward. Right. So yeah, they're pinging, and they pinged exactly the spot of that Observer Ward.
Essentially, it is a guess. Kuro could have also put it on the cliff to the left, but it seems like NEWBEE guessed right. Let's see when they get a CP off this ward. That ward is very good.
Probably one of the reasons too why they scanned. Like they scanned on top of the camps, just to the north of that point. So trying to work out if he ran over the top of the Ancients or not.
Oh, fairly quiet.
They got Faith up here as well. They're looking at Miracle. They don't have the Hex. Okay, yeah, that'll work. Kuro, the Shackles available. Okay, now that Hex is up. Level 3, he was holding on to it. KP with a double edge. Faith takes the kill. So a good movement up from NEWBEE. They'll get a support at exactly the same point they lost their support. Boogie's having the greatest time in the world on bottom. 21 denies and 33 last hits.
This is still a good Darkseer lane though. Mind Control on this hero has had a really high impact in a lot of situations, in a lot of games, and it fits very well into Liquid's playstyle of being able to shove out lanes to get information. So the fact that Darkseer is getting this many levels and farm is, you know, it's still a farm Veno for sure, but Mind Control
top lane,
getting this.
Miracle, where's that follow-up? If they got the stun, they do, so there's no spin available for Spirit side, but Miracle just has to tank the physical damage, which he cannot do. Great movement up from SCCC. And they can bring that exorcism to bear on the tier 1 tower on the top.
Definitely got the score for that here. Now that he made the full rotation up there, wow, Boogie.
Even trying to surge GH away from that fight. The Observer was from NEWBEE, seeing Kuro moving to the top. Kaka and KP, they've already set the trap, starting off with a double edge, but no, he attacked first with the Frost Armor, slowing up Kaka. He doesn't have the mana anyway, so he cannot get the Burrow Strike off, but it's allowing SCCC to attack into the tower. That's the more important thing, the creep skipping. But the TP arriving back, so Miracle back into the lane, stopping the tower from falling at least. But it's KP, yeah, he cuts through the trees. Quelling Blade, he doesn't have Hoof Stomp. They're so short on mana. At least they got the Burrow Strike back on Kaka, but no more Creep Wave under the tower, really.
They got a lot of damage into that tower. Liquid lost 1,000 health, and the trade-off is, I guess Matumba did some decent chip damage in mid, but Faith is getting good levels, and you look at this NEWBEE lineup and you feel like, okay, when they have all of these ultimates available and they have their key items, they will just start almost like Death Ball with their heroes. They just really want to group off as 5 and take objectives. The question is if Liquid will have the tools to deal with it in time. I'm pretty sure we're going to see the first Roshan from NEWBEE pretty early in the game. If Liquid want to get it, they have to steal it. They can't take it themselves. Very unrealistic with their lineup. GH is
really close to Faith. Fresh Observer Ward down. He's got his own Observer Ward down as well, so Faith will take him quickly. Shackles not available. In fact, he used the Ether Shock. The mana isn't available. In fact, now with Moogie moving over, they have enough to slow through the Plague Ward. Gale's going to connect on his target, and SCCC, keeping the Plague Ward up on the hill, realize no one else is there from Team Liquid. So while that's going on top lane, the spin from Miracle. He has the Omni Slash available, but the Burrow Strike from Kaka, holding Miracle in position. He'll go into the trees, taking a lot of damage from the tower. Has to have the Healing Ward to give him life. Kaka, Burrow Strike in 2 seconds time. He can go once more, but the Healing Ward's causing problems, but maybe not enough. He has the damage, does he? The Healing Ward, protection's available with the spin of Miracle. He'll live and sound back up once more.
If KB had 100% faith in that perfect Zamping stun, I think they could have killed the Jugger together. Pretty sure he had double it ready again, so NEWBEE, a little bit of a missed opportunity there, but still good for them to survive at the very least and get their Centaur out of the the lane's continuing with the pressure. Venomancer takes the bottom tier 1, top tier 1. Be next on the menu for him. Miracle.
Right in, dodging that Hoof from KP Kaka. He doesn't have the mana for a Burrow Strike, and there was nothing he could do while Miracle was immune. But Matumbaman can do something else. He's ready to wrap around the back. The Creep Wave's coming under the tower.
Ah, the classic Necrophos dive.
Yeah, Reaper Size is available. What are you going to do, Matumbaman? You want to do damage to him? I suppose you can hide invisible. That's a great way to dodge it.
Works pretty well. You can still hit Death Pulse, but you would need to lose like 4 or 5 of them to kill off Kaka and back off, get a clarity.
Boogie's ready to fight again now. Feeling the pressure coming on the top lane, they'll fortify up. Faith moving up as well, so Team Liquid, they were hoping for a free tier 1 tower on this top lane. It ain't gonna happen. Boogie's got his combination ready. And there's a lot of farm. In fact, the fact that Creep Wave is hitting that bottom tier 1 tower is warning bells for Team Liquid to back off the top lane.
I think we're gonna look at the smoke here for a moment for NEWBEE. They're grouped up as 3 with Poison Nova available as well for Moogie. We're gonna try to look for a kill on in this top area into that tier 1 tower. If they kill the Juggernaut here, for example, that tower is theirs to take. Meantime, though, it's slow here. There will be a stun coming from Sand King.
Miracle has Omni Slash available, but he knows he doesn't want to do it when Sandstorm's available. That's not the way for him to find a kill.
Kaka just wants to push the wave out and get a ward out. Sitting on the there's the Stampede though, and that will be the kill.
The Shackles hold him there. That's a huge kill. Miracle to fall with Boogie already up. The tier 1 tower in the top lane stays numbered.
I love plays like this where you can tell NEWBEE have already set up and coordinated and already Kaka 6.
They can set up on this one. Kaka Burrow Strike. He cannot survive, but Matumbaman still having the range for the aura. Level 3 in it. Kill off Kaka, but he doesn't get scythed to death at least. But a lot of pressure on top lane.
Defending their tower. They do have Mass Serpent Wards. I think if they flop those down together with the Plague Wards, they will be getting this tower, but
Fate's backing off.
Fate wants to go mid instead.
Yeah, they're switching their attack to work with SCCC, who's got the exorcism available.
This might be a good idea. I mean, the top tower is pretty low, right? So it's a big ultimate commitment for such a low tower. This way, they make sure they have a 2-lane siege.
They're going to get a Burrow Strike around the back if possible. PH is looking to defend. But Kaka, there's your Mass Serpent Wards, Fisher to go out. Burrow Strike going to connect on that mid lane. Exorcism is down to PH. Low on life, doesn't want to come close, but it's Necrophos, who's shackled up, taking a lot of damage. Throw that Exorcism Faith. No, he's going to die. No, Catapult bouncing off the Chain Frost. The Darkseer backfall. They're going to make a little bit more problems. Fissure is down, so Kaka being broken out of his Sandstorm, out of the Imbis. SCCC wants to bring the damage in close, but with 3 heroes already rotated over from Team Liquid, it just ain't going to happen. The only thing which is happening for NEWBEE is that top tier 1 tower being claimed by Boogie.
And now we'll get denied. So they got all 3 tier 1s at 12 minutes, which is a very good timing, but not really too much of a gold lead to show for it. They've lost a couple of heroes. I think Kaka's dive there on the Shaker, very optimistic. Like there's no real follow-up to it, so they couldn't really turn that Sanking stun into anything, and he ends up dying in the end together with the Shaman. Liquid are just playing the small advantages that they do have in the moments to keep it a pretty even game. So they have a couple of towers to claim, which means Liquid are ahead on raw farm. There's more gold on the map for them in these towers. Let's see if they want to make a move of their own.
Well, they're coming to bottom lane, but KP's already out. TP very quickly away.
Yeah, the tower's gone.
Yeah, but if they pressure bottom lane, Moogie's already up on to continue the pressure. You have Stampede available, so it kind of gives NEWBEE the confidence to go a little bit deeper than they normally would. And the fact they're doing that means they can potentially catch out GH. GH is the man who's found Blink Daggers at insane rates. Now just has to run away. Sanking has that level 3 Burrow Strike. He does not have the range on GH just yet, but when GH holds behind the tower, the Observer Ward, it doesn't see him. He's in a small crevice. Now he comes out. Faith will see him. And well, no, they're not going to use it just yet. Necrophos starting his TP in. So Faith will just drag the wave down.
I actually thought Kaka had eyes on him earlier and they were going to stampede for it, but I guess he was just outside of the range of Sanking. So, no kill, and Liquid defend. So buying more time for their lineup. They just need space and time to farm and get these towers. Juggernaut is doing a pretty good job here, Miracle, finding some good farm. The Darkseer has been relatively quiet, but it will now be completing the mech soon. GH's Blink, you were talking about it, it's 900 away, but he can farm it pretty quickly with this Ion Shell help. Mind control.
As long as he times the last hits, right?
Oh, he's letting Mind Control get some
okay, he'll take that. He'll take the last 2. Yep. But this is still a good position for NEWBEE too. Like we've been looking for something that gets them back into this series, and having real superb team fights from NEWBEE, which is an essential thing against Liquid's sustain. That's what it's all about. That's going to give us our clash. That's going to give us our clash we were really searching for.
NEWBEE need to get a rope, I think. Get some wards out here, start putting that pressure. They have the Mass Serpent wards, they have the Exorcism. It's a lot of ulti commitments, but it would be a good move. Instead, they're going to turn it into a rotation toward top into tier 2. That's also a great high impact play if they can pull it off.
If they can kill Matumbaman, he's the man looking to build a Radiance. Faith's just going to get close enough to get the next thing. The Observer what they have behind. They see everything stampeding forward. Exorcism is down. There's a lot of damage. KP is taken, but they'll still get the kill into Matumbaman. SCC once more. Kuro TP'd to try and help out, but now he's trapped. Kaka, no Burrow Strike for another 2 seconds, but the Exorcism will do the work, and Kuro, Kaka even commits it to ensure it. So that's 2 kills up on the top lane, and now pressure to the tier 2 tower.
It's like we don't want to give up the tower though. We're going to send in Shaker and Darkseer to try and delay this part.
Master wants it down. Liquid might think twice about it. At least Mind Control gives the buckler effect for Kaka. Burrow Strike, he's looking at Mind Control, but knowing that GH has the vision behind the lines is not what they want to go into. So they'll let the Mass Serpent Wars die, or maybe not. Miracle's coming in from the south. Burrow Strike up, Kaka actually dodging the fact that he cannot dodge the Spear of Miracle. There's also Iron Shell bumped up, double TP's out, SCCC, his TP's coming off cooldown in a second. He had to move one of his null talismans out of his backpack, and now starts with GH. Echo slams it down. The silence, it needed to connect on the Earthshaker.
Yep. He tried to get the silence on both of them, both the Jugger and Shaker, but GH was just out of range.
Difficult to do when you don't have that vision.
I think if he committed for a silence on Shaker, he might have lived. I'm not sure if Juggernaut had enough damage with Iron Shell and level 1 Omni Slash to actually even kill the DP out of the TP there, but good kills for Liquid. They defend their tower, and they've played these small advantages. They had 2 dead heroes, and they still defended their tower and found exit kills, just using that Ion Shell and the rotating Juggernaut very well.
I'm still interested to see though, like when NEWBEE have that big strength, like there's these exit kills, Liquid are coming in force, I'm saying they can find them, because you haven't felt the effect of the Venomancer yet. Boogie continues to farm up, and he only really comes to join the fights when this tier 1 tower on the top lane is being threatened. And that's what they're doing. Observe wards on the hillside. Faith kind of moving close enough. They'll get the head. Collect Shackles up here. Another from PA. Forced on Stampede from KP. Correct PA space. Lynch holding won't continue his bounce, however. But KP's on the wrong side. The crack. Omni Slash. They have enough damage to get through Kaka. But Miracle trucked under the towers. KP still alive. He ran all the way up to the north. Even has his Blinker Bubble and steals the bounty rune from Team Liquid. It's a call for a support. The top tower. It does fall in favor of Matumbaman, who committed in. SCC's spirit side, but not enough to dissuade him from the attempt.
Liquid were looking for a vacuum into fissure combo there, and they got it off decently, but not fully. And the Stampede allowed them to disengage and get out. That looked really scary for NEWBEE. If they don't have Stampede, they lose like 3 or 4 heroes. So they're really key abilities for them to have against this Liquid lineup. And it's very clear there. You can see what the idea behind the Centaur pick was.
Shaker has his Blink Dagger.
Yep.
They've got that initiation now onto GH.
If you had that fight, that would have been a stop for Liquid. So
yep.
NEWBEE can't afford to get vacuumed like that again. If they get 2 or 3 hero backed into Shaker Echo, the fight's just nice.
Yep.
Gotta be really careful.
That's when they're going to need maneuverability from both Stampede, the space creation from Centaur, the fact that Venomancer will soon have his full Hurricane Pike. You need a Yule Scepter for SCCC to stay alive, and that is coming out in the courier. In fact, both of those items are arriving on the courier. Maneuverability getting better. Interesting that Faith is actually not helping him out with maneuverability. He's going straight to push line. He's getting Aghanim Scepter rush on the Shaman after having just the Arcane Boost.
Kind of shows what the game plan is, right? You want the Shaman to get a timing when they can just go and just try and hit the game. A lot of the time you see Shamans go for Staff Claimer or Blink, and all 3 items have their value in this game.
That's a nice move. Double damage room, but the bad thing is the Echo Slam catching on SCTC. They're already using that Hurricane Pike to get it free with the Stampede. They'll turn around, Massive wants it down too. They find the kill, it's the Earthshaker. Now NEWBEE want to roll with the momentum into Mind Control, who stands his ground, taking it for the team. Exorcism has been burnt, and there is a creep wave here to work with. But what NEWBEE want is something bigger. They want Roshan.
This is their good timing. 10 seconds on Shaker, 30 on the Darkseer. Don't think Liquid are in any position to contest this. This was the big moment we were waiting for NEWBEE, where they find the key kills close to the objective. Getting the full value out of Exorcism here. He's going to heal up to full here. SCC did so much damage to the Ghost that he's ready to go somewhere else. Roche will fall, and they'll probably give the Aegis to the
And it's on Moogie. GH has to be really sad. That was the first reveal of his Blink Dagger, and it didn't really come with the big impact they wanted. Miracle has still been able to find a lot of farm in the meantime, rapidly approaching his man style. But he's still behind in the net worth, only by 600. And that's to the Venomancer. Hurricane Pike, Aegis Immortal. What else? He hasn't have anything else coming out at the moment. He's just got those critical items.
The Pike made that fight, by the way. The Force Staff or the Pike usage immediately on the Death Prophet got him into a very good position where NEWBEE was counter-engaged. Not sure, Liquid were probably not accounting for that play when GH jumped in. It's just like, okay, if we catch anyone, they don't have any save in their lineup. They have Stampede, which they can't use when they're stunned, but no, that little bit of Force Staff usage there really turned the tide of NEWBEE to a big fight on the road. Gonna be looking for more of that from them. It's still a very close game.
Yeah, that's actually the real first advantage that NEWBEE have got. They're just to fight straight out. So they go up in the gold, they go up in the experience, but you're still hovering around that 2k just above and below for experience and gold advantage in favor of NEWBEE. That's not really enough to say you have a victory over Team Liquid. In fact, even if you had 20k, you don't think you had a victory over Team Liquid.
If you're 20k ahead and 22, that's generally a win.
That would be pretty big.
I don't know if I've ever seen a team come back. Well, you know, they're just 18k off, so if they get that in the next 30 seconds, then you're right. Looking forward to that play out of NEWBEE.
Thanks for your analysis, Minderin. You're absolutely, you're a dear. Shaker ready to fight on bottom lane already. NEWBEE are feeling someone is down here. They're scanning inside their own jungle, waiting for the Liquid attack. This is where Moogie needs to get those Plague Wars down, get really good vision, which Liquid already have. That Observe Ward just to the south side of the tree line. They see the defense that NEWBEE has in position, even in this nighttime cycle.
This is actually something we didn't talk about at all about Liquid's lineup. I think this is the first lineup from Liquid we've seen today in all of their games where they don't have a single vision hero. And that is, to me, this TI has been more about vision than any other TI.
Oh, by top
lane.
Echo Slam, Kaka.
That's what happens if you don't have vision, and you die. Meanwhile, on bottom,
Matumbaman
got a little bit of a book reading club. Bottom of the map.
I'm sorry, book reading club, they're gonna be down here in a while. Maybe you can cut down the trees, make some paper, and write something interesting.
These two heroes, probably, they look like they spent a lot of years reading.
Well, Lich does come with his own book.
Yep.
Well, look over my shoulder and read Matumbaman.
Dual guys get out.
I'm not certain. They're scanning. They don't see anything. Like, they have their Observer Ward near the tower, but they don't know where Venomancer and Shadow Shaman have left to. Like, if they wanted to, they could drop mass Observer Wards at the tier 2 tower on bottom.
They want to cut the wave. I thought they were just going to TP out, but saving the TP scrolls so they have the ability to move around the map, and we'll just let them feel safe now to walk up. take care of business here, get those creeps killed. Almost has the Radiance. It's a big item in this game for the Necropost. Just ramping up that farm, synergy with the Veil.
You know, the more and more I'm looking at this game, the more and more issues I see Team Liquid taking high ground. Like, you look at the build coming in from Moogie, going to go in for the Maelstrom. Like, that is a lot of bonus damage, a lot of push. Kuro, Moogie actually stopped attacking for half a second. It's the Crypt Swarm from SDC that will reach him.
They should drop the Serpent Wards here, I think.
Yeah, it makes sense. Like, you're going to have ward-on-ward action, and then you have even more push coming in from the Maelstrom. I don't know if Liquid can really knock down that wall fast enough. And even if they do get the advantage of the game, how do you then push against the Newbie when they have a pre-prepared position?
It's difficult. It is really difficult for the heroes to take a fight into this Newbie lineup. Newbie know it, so they're just going to go for one tower into the next. This Aegis the Immortal on Venomancer, he could just cross straight down to bottom and take the tower, or just try to go for high ground.
Yeah, put down a Plague Ward, at least see what's there.
They have an Arcane Rune on the Death Prophet, so...
Darkseer just TP back in. The Plague Wars don't see him deep enough. They only see Matumbaman, but they don't see Kuro, Mind Control, and GH. So Exorcism is up to the Death Prophet. He has a Yule, so taking a lot of damage, but Master was also down. Matumbaman taking the damage in order to get rid of a couple of them. The Boogie, there's more wars where they came from. That mid tower dropping quickly. 600, 500 fortification used by Team Liquid, trying to hold them out. Mind Control trying to wrap around through the north, hoping to get into the back lines of NEWBEE for that wonderful back combination. Doesn't happen. In fact, Surges to get back inside the base and keep the defense going. The tier 3 tower at 283, but it looks like enough. NEWBEE are happy with the chip damage. They will now disengage.
They can wait another minute and have Exorcism again, but then they won't have their Aegis anymore. So we'll see what NEWBEE's play call is. I think it's a difficult one to make without the Aegis the second time. This time that was not too difficult for them to realize that was definitely favoring them.
It's the items you're looking for. So Aegis times out. The pipe is actually flying out the courier right now to KP, so they'll have that extra control. The Rod of Atos has also arrived for SDCC. They've got a lot of immunity on here. Dual Scepter, Hood of Defiance, and now Rod of Atos. That's 1640 worth of HP that somehow they need to find the damage on Liquid to get through. You're still working on Diffusal Blade for Miracle. That's not there, and life gets even harder. A full Radiance is done, at least for the Necro, so I say harder for NEWBEE in the team fight to get every single hit.
Arco?
Yeah, middle of nowhere. And side. Executed.
He didn't know GH was there. He blinked into the side, and then GH saw him and was like, wait, what? Cast a couple spells, got the kill from Matumba. Nice little Reaper kill, so 1 minute out of play.
I think GH stole Inflame's luck for finding everyone in the tree line.
I think Inflame has vision. That's like that's a bit of a different story when you're playing heroes like Puck and Bat Rider. You can really see things. And I think Liquid are doing a good job in Miracle.
He needs vision of this. He's starting his spin. He won't have time. He can't TP out now. The Stampede, they're trying to close the distance so the Hextra Fate can come out. The Plague Ward going to block the retreat off the Juggernaut. He doesn't know it. That's why the movement path sent him back towards the south. KP comes in to lend the extra stun, and Juggernaut will fall on the top lane. I don't know if Liquid can really get a rebuttal. They're pushing in the mid lane, so at least they get momentum.
Pretty rare mistake from Miracle. He seems to always have these TP things under control and he's playing Juggernaut, but that time he didn't have it in his inventory. He uses the spin, he's like, wait, I don't have a TP. Has to run to the side shot and just gets caught killed. And a big kill at that. It probably enables NEWBEE to, if not take this top tower, then at least force rotation and deal with their problems bottom when the Sand King was dead for a minute.
The top tier 2 tower has 451 HP. Like that's not worth the defense. And there's a siege catapult coming in as well. All they can look for is raise. Oh, wait, what?
Okay, that's
what was it? We were casting, okay, bottom lane, we might go back to that front lane, the Gale, out from Boogie, Nova being committed, GA starting his TP, you also have to end up cancelling that one. Necro wants to run away, the Lynch ulting and it bounced perfectly, GH has the stun, Boogie's BKB will also be expended to hold that lane. Was it LFY we were talking about, who were just so efficient with their usage of abilities? You never committed more than you had to. That was a heavy commitment from NEWBEE to put down the Mass Serpent Wards.
Yeah, I didn't really like their positioning very much on that play. They Yule up the Shaker and then they meleeed him, so he could stun them and that set up for the Chain Cross. They also used the Silence way too early on the Death Prophet, so a little bit of a misplay, forcing them to use the BKB of that Venom. PT was obviously completely fine with that Hood, taking very minimal damage from
the literal team. But this is what NEWBEE kind of need to tease out at the moment. You're 2 games down. They happened in a really dominant fashion. So we didn't really touch on it much. The fact that NEWBEE had to pick themselves up from such a defeat during the biggest match of their lives. It's the TI Grand Final.
I like the way Ty talked about it just logically. You know, it's like, you need to win 3 games. You can win the first 3 games, you can win the last 3 games. It doesn't matter if you win 3 games. And if they need to lose 2 games to figure out what it is Liquid are so good at and how they need to draft against them, then those are losses you're willing to take. And I think those first 2 games for NEWBEE were really drafting experience. I don't think they misplayed horribly. I don't think they were like, oh, our coordination is so bad. They needed to learn how to play Dota against this Liquid team. And if this game is any indication, this is definitely the best chance they've had so far at taking a game off them. They stole the Venomancer, they banned out the Nature's Prophet. They are the ones playing the high-tempo push style with these heroes that can knock down objectives, and Liquid are more on the back foot.
That they are. So they need to get into the front lines. Their 4-man smoke will try and do this. Same time, NEWBEE were looking to do the same kind of thing, but you didn't have the mana on Faith. Grouping up with the rest of NEWBEE around Roshan, which is up, so if you do put the town, no one's defending this. You'll even burn Exorcism of SDCC to ensure this Roshan goes down very, very quickly. But as you mentioned, Faith, he went back to regenerate as well. Pick up the Aghanim Scepter. Liquid, they are coming. But do they get here quick enough? The Plague Wards are down. Karka staying outside the pit. They know that Liquid have come from the south. The X is out already. Miracle spinning inside the pit. Roshan's down low. The back wall is nice. The mount left for the down turn. But the Aghanim left. And Liz Johnson. It's here. 3 down. But NEWBEE, they need to be able to survive the BKB. Moving survives Miracle. Killing off Roshan. Taking the agency ball. The master wants to essentially squat at the moment. Even the sights. Heavy damage into Mugi on the retreat. The Burrow Strike not hitting the money. Karka has to retreat back out again. The Plague Wars making it difficult for Liquid just to get out of this Sculpt 3. But now Diffusal blade out from Miracle, catching up Mugi, ending the dominating streak. And the big advantage that NEWBEE had just disappeared.
It's a beautiful combo here from between the Darkseer and the Earthshaker. So look at how GH backs off to the bottom right. Mind Control runs and gets the 2-man back wall. And Shaker into Blink Echo here. And Kaka can't really get in from the right-hand side. He was getting his Blink cancelled by the Radiance of Matumbaman you see walking in. So this whole team fight for NEWBEE just didn't work out. I think the problem for them is that they didn't have the right heroes in the right position to break the smoke. Shadow Shaman was in an awkward spot.
Oh, that is not a good facial expression.
KP was not ready. They needed to have a better spread around the pin with Centaur to the, I think, to the bottom and the Sankey to the top right, so that the 2 assault angles from Liquid would get countered by heroes with blinks. And instead Liquid just got an opening, just ran in for it. Nobody stopped the Darkseer.
That prepared position I was talking about doesn't exist when the Venomancer is still down or having to climb back when the push arrives. Miracle with the Aegis Immortal does the first bit of damage to the NEWBEE base, beating into the tier 3 tower. KP's watching him, and they're looking. They get the Hex over on GH, but the Faith gets caught out. Trying to look for his own Hex, Quickman style out. KP looking for the hot stuff, and GH is finger right on the money. Karka coming in, looking for any kind of stuns that make it so Liquid have overcommitted. Rotovata onto the Necrophos. You've lost your Shadow Shaman, but Venomancer back toward the living. Nova's available too. Miracle, you can bleed him out, but remember he's still got the secondary life. The Burrow Strike, they're just trying to chip away at him. That tier 3 tower is going, it's going, it's gone. Miracle will grab it. The spin, he wants to back out now with no magic community. It's too risky to stick around, but they got what they wanted. Tier 3 tower down. The shrines are now opened up unless Liquid. Do they want to? You have Blink Echo Slam. They could just reinsert. And that is exactly what they're looking for.
NEWBEE don't have information, so they're going to take it easy. Got the ward down.
Oh, get away from there, KP. Mind Control. He doesn't have vision on the high ground. It was just the fact they lost their ward trying to back it down.
Yeah, they saw the vacuum with their Plague Wards. Liquid are going to back out. So we were talking tradition earlier, at least the panel, where that this is the year that China won the last years. It generally alternates. That's one of the things we always have. We've never had a repeat champion in NEWBEE, but if Liquid win this game, we will have one tradition broken. There's never been a 3-0 in the finals. It's always been 3-1 or 3-2, and Liquid right now could make a little bit of extra history, if you will, by being the first team to do that clean sweep. It's actually a bit crazy when you think about it. It's been 6 previous TIs and never a clean sweep 3-0. You would think it would happen once. This could very well be the year. With that last team fight from Liquid, they put themselves in a very good position.
And even the TI4 finals went 3-1, and that's a bit
There was 3-1 at every TI except TI 3.
Yeah, when it went to the full 5.
That was the only 5 games that we've had, I think.
Alliance is the only time we actually went to 5 at TI.
Yeah.
And it took until Kiev for a repeat at a Valve event at the Major for us also to go to 5, which was the VP OG match.
Has there even been a 3-0 in a Major final? There might have been once. Not sure about that.
Radiant's bottom
We can
shrine
leave that to the boys who love to post up stats. For now, Team Liquid, all they want to do is be crowned champions. And they are working their way towards it. The top 2 networks now belong to the Juggernaut, as well as the Necrolite and NEWBEE. It's a huge ask. They have to defend, and they know they've lost control of this game. The gold graph has swung by about 10,000 in favor of Team Liquid, not to mention the experience graph racking up about 12k to 13k movement. This is a hard ask, but at least NEWBEE have Plague Wards up from Mugi this time around. They'll have the defense.
Is that a full butterfly? Oh, he has a full butterfly Jugger coming in. That's like the perfect timing for this push as well. He has another 40 seconds on the Aegis, so he's just going to run in and start hitting.
The perfect timing, but watch that Aegis Immortal. If we hit 33-30, you'll know the Aegis will be timing out pretty shortly, but Miracle making the most of that 30 seconds. Feeding into the tower, KP with a hop stomp. They have an extra silence. Juggernaut can't do damage. The fortification's doing its work. Not the Spirit side, but Karka, Fire Strike, can they wait that a little bit longer? For another 20 seconds so that Aegis is properly gone, but Team Liquid, once again, they go up, they take the tower, and they're looking to come back in once more. Watch that Aegis of the Immortal. They jump in, the hop stomp from KP, catching through. Aegis still there for the fact. Epicenter is doing its work. The Juggernaut, he's dying. The Aegis Immortal will tie him down. Fraction of a second before. Miracle's gone. The side will get a revenge. KP will fall. Kuro tries to end the trees, but the Exorcism prevents DC. They're having the damage output to do it. 3 heroes gone from Team Liquid. I want a counter on that Aegis. It had to be half of a second in the timing of the expiration date. And then food poisoning for Liquid.
Invisibility.
Tony'd off move, bro.
All right, well, I was wondering when Liquid went for this play to push bottom if they could have just taken mid-racks, you know? That I was thinking, okay, here comes the butterfly. Well, let's have a look at this.
Yeah, here's the fight. So KP gets the double stun. Karka brings in a huge amount of damage, but it's SCC that can just stand in the middle of the fight, and there's that timing, the Juggernaut.
It must have been within a second. We saw him have it, then the click was over on the Necro, and he died with the Aegis.
You heard the sound go off at the same time as the Juggernaut died.
Yeah.
That's what made it so damn close.
That's timing.
Yep.
Timing for you.
I'm wondering if NEWBEE had the counter in their mind. If they did, that was pinpoint accuracy, and Miracle could scratch his head and go, you know what, why me? Why me? But this is what NEWBEE needed. They can turn the graph around, the experience kicks back up. That was a very good fight for them. The gold doesn't swing anywhere near as much.
It's not
but they hold their high ground and they keep Liquid out.
Yeah, and Veno is going to close in on level 25, which could make their base defense a lot easier. Probably going to get that triple Plague Ward HP damage talent.
That's what everyone does.
Make it a lot harder for Liquid to siege high ground. Now, the one thing going for Liquid still, even though that fight went wrong, they obviously took the 2 tier 3 so they can get maybe the secondary shrine and set up for Roshan at some point soon. They will want that next Aegis before they go high ground. And I think with this first Aegis, they should have probably taken the mid-racks. I'm pretty sure NEWBEE could not have contested that. You get the wave bottom to reach the tower, so back doors off, and then you go mid. But Liquid tried to maybe get a little bit too much in that one play.
They tried to win TI in one play.
It's still not a disaster for them. Like, they're still in a good position in this game. We're making it sound like NEWBEE are fully just full on back in the game. I still think NEWBEE have backs against the wall. You know, map control wise is looking tricky for them. Liquid still have that incredible team fight combination that we've just seen win games time and time again.
Push is coming in on bottom lane.
Something's exciting.
We're looking at heroes picking up. That's what it's about. What you want to look at is NEWBEE in just a second. They're grouping up, ready for a smoke gank. They have a fresh gem of True Sight given over to Karka. Also want to point out the fact that Karka spent as much time as possibly can. He's still 900 short of the Aghanim Scepter, so you can look towards the buybacks of NEWBEE. And currently, only the Death Prophet has buyback available. But Liquid, they want to fight. They're fighting that fan smoked up, moving towards NEWBEE. But NEWBEE are home. They are definitely lights on.
This is still going to allow Liquid to get wards out if they have any. They do have 2 wards on Kuro. So if this smoke, quote-unquote, fails, they get map control ready to go. And this is a good smoke. Like, sometimes you don't find kills, but if you get the map control, Good enough. Oh.
GH, he doesn't know.
Close call.
To be honest, I thought GH was able to smell out the armadillo that was running right behind KP, but now it's NEWBEE. Who will group up themselves, they'll sentry ward down. They see the fact there's an observer and sentry on the hill, so SCC will break his own smoke. And Liquid, a 5-on-5 fight looks to be brewing on the top lane. They have thrown defensive observer ward where the front used to be. SCC's the man on the front lines. It's KP with fresh Solar Crest and Pipe of Insight. You need to trigger these off perfectly in order to find the opening. Kaka, yeah, that ain't real, man. No matter how much it is being microed, there's not something, at least there's no chrono bit commit. Never forget. Let's roar a ball.
So, 1 minute for Roche. Liquid are sitting on this high ground. They're probably not going to move, because why would they? They could just stay in this area. Never mind.
NEWBEE's trying to make the most of it. The observer ward sort of 3 are still floating around inside the dire jungle. So Kaka can go to bottom, get some momentum, get some farm, and he needs that Aghanim center up.
But I think, so what Liquid are thinking here is, we have good vision up here. I thought they were going to stay in this area, but they want to push one more wave out mid and check the road. In many situations, you would see that the team with the high ground vision stay there with like 4 heroes, send 1 hero scouting into that road pit. But it was simply this mid wave that they wanted to take care of. Now that that's done, they're starting to get back in.
Yule Scepter, I'm dropping back down again, out of the Yule Scepter hit. Kaka connects on his stun, follow from KP, but mind control drags them back in, unwillingly into the fight. KP got no way out, no MP to help the 2 heroes. Lost from NEWBEE. Liquid have opened the window.
This is at the very minimum back force. Maybe they will even get the tier 3.
They don't have those upgraded wards yet from NEWBEE, so the defense is nowhere near as strong. And the buyback from SCCC is used. There is no buybacks available from NEWBEE. So even contesting around Roshan is a dangerous thing. If that fight goes haywire, Team Liquid will be crowned champions.
Yeah, they're going to push out mid. Same logic again, sending in Miracle here. They have a couple of Radiant solutions with 10 seconds on them, so they're going to shove out this wave and go into this road. Our for sure has spawned because I think we're close to maximum spawn time. Well, hesitate a little bit, showing a lot of respect to NEWBEE, who would be 4-on-5 without their Centaur and even a Shrine to TP on.
And they don't have Stampede for 15 seconds, but it's a bait. Like the scanner's come in from Radiant, now it hasn't flagged red. But Liquid have gone back to keep up. Are they waiting for a critical item? There is something coming on the courier. It's the full BKB from Miracle. That's what's coming. That's what's going to give Liquid the surprise advantage to the next team fight.
They're going to send in a Juggernaut. These Plague Wards are still not triple. So close to 25 for NEWBEE, but might come in just a little bit too late.
No one can just enter space. He needs it. Even Shaman was coming to help and just push out the wave. But you are right. Without those upgraded Plague Wards, without Liquid having to fight through basically attack towers, they are still the superior ones coming into the team fight at the moment. SCCC does have a little bit more life to work with. Now he's got that plus 10 armor from the plate mount. So trying to at least survive the damage. Miracle, in fact, he's also got that diffuser blade now upgraded to his 2nd level. So much work with. Buyback is available for the Venomancer and Centaur, plus the ES and the Necro, so both sides having 2 buybacks for this fight. But while Moogie litters the field with Plague Wards, and he has the upgrade now, so he has the plus, the 3 times Plague Ward HP and damage available.
Liquid, the information they're waiting for. The bottom wave is pushing so hard that NEWBEE has to send a hero back to defend. It's going to be the Centaur, and I think this will make Liquid move up. Now see Matumbaman immediately moving into the river, starting to try to deal with Plague Wards. Yeah, that's great fun.
Yeah, this isn't going to happen.
Really managing that.
Moogie can just camp the mid laning. He leaves a couple of Plague Wards in the mid, but that's when GH looks his opportunity. Conqueror of Shadow Blade ventures across the river, getting his feet wet.
Can't really see an opening there.
Yep.
They just want some... See, that is the problem that Liquid's lineup has, right? They don't have that vision. They don't have any way of scouting except planting wards, so they can't really set up their amazing team fight unless they know exactly where the enemy team is. So that's what was presented.
Is it never a standoff because of this?
I think Liquid could just try to push out bottom, force a reaction, or they can move. Close call, but Army gets out. So Liquid can try to force in bottom. Since there's no tier 3 tower, these barracks have to be defended, but current momentum is going the way of NEWBEE.
He's got that Gem of True Sight. They're trying to get rid of the observer on the other side of the hill, so the Plate Ward does it in 2 shots. And Team Liquid, this is not something they want to lose, so they get a 4-man smoked up. Miracle just used his spin. This feels so much like bait. Boogie feels it too. Scaling into Miracle. They're not committing too heavily in with the Venomance rep, but he has that BKB. The reaction point was on the Miracle, the bar strike from Taka. He'll connect, follow up bitch for KP. He'll get the son of the mouse that goes to the middle of the field, done here. Thrown up, Miracle, the Echo slap there from GH and the Omni's back. And now it's just for 2 minutes with the side. SCC is gone for 2 minutes. The list shape runs bouncing back down Taka. Trying to flip up right now. It's all Liquid, Liquid, Liquid. They have taken down 4. He'll get the buyback from the Venomance and GH for the 4th up. He won't even die for this. Liquid lose nothing, but take everything from NEWBEE.
That was so close. Miracle with 5% HP got off that Omni Slash, and it turned the entire time. GH waited as long as he could on that phase to come in with the Echo Slam, then broke the shackles and let Miracle get his spell off. Liquid, man, that looked so scary. It really looked like Miracle would die. And if he falls there, it's a different story. I don't even think he had buyback on the Juggernaut at this moment. They've got a lot of gold from the fight. They'll take the road, and they're gonna more than likely just head down mid. 10 seconds on healing, so Miracle will be up to again.
And they can just do the same as previous, put Miracle on the front lines. Let's have a look at that moment once more. So
he
Miracle,
wants this DD.
He does.
Instant stun, blink away, connect again. Now they're gonna shackle in alone. So here are the shackles. Miracle dropping so. There's the Echo Manta. Omni. Barely bailed out by GH.
And with that double damage upgrade, it's too much. And here comes Liquid into the melee racks on mid. Still no death profit for 40 seconds. Liquid doing severe damage to NEWBEE home. They'll rotate towards the bottom. The tier 3 towers. That was the prep work for Liquid. Now take the blow through. A nice burrow strike. They need more playboards. They need more defense. But Miracle doesn't give 2 hoots. Just keeps beating through the buildings. Fortifications there to protect the range rack and buy time for Death Prophet to come back alive again. When he's up, he still won't have Exorcism. He'll be on cooldown for another 38 seconds. Miracle, a quick push back. That's the Hurricane Pike going to work. Matumbaman sticking with Team Liquid. They're going to make the play for Megas. Death Prophet, 5 seconds until she's up. The Hawks on, plus the Gale, into the Necro. Bounce that one. They've got really good range with that Agnium's upgrade, so they can defend inside the base. Liquid can also wait this out. Shackles, it holds Miracle. They just keep chaining him across the universe. They hold him. Kaka wants to come out for more, but be careful. GH has Blink Echo Slam up and running.
Healing ward in the back. Liquid are so close. Just one more good fight. They know there can't be buybacks on NEWBEE's lineup. They must have done so economical damage that any big kill.
Everything. Here comes the Echo Slam. Where's it going to be enough? The Fissure is down. Necro control. It's a nice only for Boogie. Maybe the regeneration is enough. Miracle. The Agency model will pop face. Able to shackle him forever. Holding him. Up they come once more. No Hex. No instant on a battle. They flash on Boogie. The drop's doing enough. And in all a Miracle charge. Double kill for him. Defuse away SCCC. Ostentor. Control the backline. The Exorcism. It needs to do some damage. But right now, NEWBEE dropping like why is that DG? It's done. Liquid will be the first team in the history of the National to whitewash. By Invictus Gaming.